Alright, good evening troopers, commander on deck, welcome. It is time for the weekly debrief. And I let you all down last week, but we're not doing it this time. I'm hoping that this will be, I'll be able to be consistent. I want to be consistent again with my upload schedule and all that. Upload, I don't, like I do individual videos, I do fucking live streams. But yeah, I want to be like consistent with that shit again. I had planned to do it like this week, but then I got sick on Sunday last week, I believe, something like that. So yeah, last Sunday, Easter Sunday. I don't know why. Like I was in bed the entire day, which really sucks because like we were having barbecue and everything. I mean, it was still there. Like there was still like plenty of leftovers for me when company finally left, and I was able to go downstairs without potentially infecting somebody. But still, it was not nice. I wasn't able to have like fresh barbecue and everything, but still. But yeah, unfortunate. But you know, still got some good food, and we had like tres leches cake. You know, it was pretty fun. I love tres leches. It's like favorite, like my second favorite type of cake. I love it. But yeah, but I'm all recovered from that. Thankfully, that sickness kind of went away relatively quickly. I just gave myself like the rest of the week, like just in case. But like by the following day, I was pretty much like 80% of the way there, and then now I feel like I'm back to like 100, you know, or close to 100. You know, we're never 100%. Not really. But yeah, time for the weekly debrief. Again, mostly drama and other bullshit. I have so many fucking topics. I think I said this at the very beginning, like we're never gonna run out of topics. Like even when I think like, oh shit, we might like, it's going kind of slow this week, and then like the next day I get like 3 topics and like in under an hour, and it's like, okay. The world is too fucking interesting. We can't have a fucking break, unfortunately. What am I looking at here? Sorry, I'm looking at my, you guys are posting like fucking deranged that shit in the server, which I appreciate. Please keep sending that. Oh my god. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, let's get into the debrief. Let's start out with something light. Light. This isn't light at all. But I was watching some combat footage from Cappy Army. Also, welcome, Gunter. You're on Kick. Are you following me on Kick? If you're not, thank you for the follow on Kick. I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you for being there. Please, everyone, follow me on every platform, because one day I'm gonna say something too spicy, and Twitch is gonna come to my house and and then break my legs and leave me in the street. You gotta do it, guys. Follow me on every other platform, because you don't know how long Twitch will tolerate me, because Twitch be Twitch. We all know this. My god. I think we do have some topics to talk about regarding Twitch being fucking annoying. But let's see. Anyway, let's look at this like combat footage real quick. I was just like skimming, and then I saw this.
Infantry riding on top of the armored vehicle in an attempt to put more distance.
I hope it's Cappy. He should cut off, like, if it cut off. There shouldn't be like anybody like actually like getting hurt.
And any possible.
We're not gonna watch all of this, by the way. I just saw this and I was interested. Free me, free the bunny.
Underneath. They are
he only said some slurs, not all of them.
No man's land to a drop-off point. This battle took place in 2024, right after the fall of the Ukrainian town of Avdiivka. Russian forces started assaulting forward in an attempt to quickly capitalize.
By the way, we had like the 4th anniversary of the conflict, like
the town of
in February. So yeah, I remember where I was when I heard that Russia was invading Ukraine. I was at work at the time, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Are attempting to gain a foothold here.
I just wanted to have a quiet day at work, and then it was like there's an invasion going on.
Their goal is to push their breakthrough as far as
and then there was another one like a few months ago.
The predetermined drop-off point near some houses. The BTR stops and the Russian infantry jump off.
So I noticed how that BTR has like fucking coke cage on top of
the side of the road. They're aiming to bunker down inside of the homes here and wait for more reinforcements on their position.
So funny.
But first, all the animation work in today's episode is sponsored by SDI.
Okay, let me be a bitch for a second. Why the fuck are people still supporting SDI? If you don't know what they are, Sonoran Desert Institute, they're kind of like a, also I didn't get, well, I'm ranting, let me get some like music going, because I forgot to get music ready. But SDI, if you don't know what they are, they're a, let's do this one. Sure. that'll work. But they're an online university where you can learn how to do like gunsmithing and things like that. But apparently they're really fucking scuffed. Like they will not like grade your work properly. They won't set you like proper tools to like do your work, because it's supposed to be like an online course basically. You know, like a lot of those came out during like the pandemic and all that. And basically you're just wasting a ton of money just to get like a subpar education. And the only person, like, I follow a bunch of gun guys. Like, that's not hard to believe, I imagine. Like, you know, I follow Ian from Forgotten Weapons. Cappy is technically a gun guy. I follow Brandon Herrera. Who else do I follow? Hickok 45. You know, like all the guys. Like, if you follow gun tubers, then you probably have seen the guys that I follow. And the only one who ever calls them out was Ian from Forgotten Weapons. Everyone else sucks their fucking dick, and I don't know why. I guess their deals are really fucking good because they keep promoting them. And it's just so
a lot of you guys are
frustrating to see, like, you know, guys that otherwise I trust a lot, like Cappy and Brandon, promoting this company that like I've only heard bad things about. Like all these other people, all they talk about is like the seller's pitch. You know what they're trying to get you to buy it, right? Because like, you know, they're not going to tell you anything bad about them. But the only one who's ever given me an honest review, who's actually looked into them and done the research, is Ian from Forgotten Weapons. And everyone else is just like, go to SDI, guys. They're my sponsor for the video. And like, you guys are and they're like, these are all like gun guys, right? So they're like very pro Second Amendment and pro free speech by association and things like that. So like, you know, honor and integrity. And then they promote like one of the most like unhonorable and accountable companies that I know of. It's just odd. I don't know. I really wish they. Yeah. So anytime you see that SDI logo, just ignore it. It's my
college. So whether you're
accredited.
For
what does that even fucking mean?
My link in the bushes.
Okay, shut up, dude.
Comment below. Russian infantry have dismounted and are taking cover in the bushes.
I have chocolate.
They appear to be lower.
I wanted to get a beer, but should I get a beer
compared to some other units that we've seen? Sometimes the initial storm units are filled.
It might not even be like alcoholic
on these high-risk missions.
It's one of my dad's
beers.
Once
the Russian BTR has dropped off the squad, it does.
I want a beer. Should I get a beer, guys? Hey, Miami, welcome. Thanks for saying hi. We're watching combat footage.
Is because if you notice
why not?
The terrain and geography dictate this spot as being the optimal location. It's 500 meters from a river crossing to the west. This is the only way to cross the water gap, is to first send in the Russian infantry across there to clear where the Ukrainians have set up their defenses on the natural water barrier on the west of the river. The BTR drives down the same road.
Also, they're still using BTRs. Just, I mean, it must be like a modernized version.
Drone is tailing the armored vehicle. It strikes the top of the BTR.
We got lots of news, but we're just looking at this. This combat footage is from 2024, so it's pretty old. So this is not recent, but damn.
The explosion may have knocked out the crew inside the vehicle because it comes to a halt.
Gunter, can we fix that?
FPV strike on its rear armor.
Could you fix that?
A fire inside the BTR. The vehicle can be seen burning.
Okay, I don't think you could fix that.
The drone strike focused on the armor first instead of attacking the Russian foot soldiers. This was done as a way to cut off the Russian troops' ability to send in more reinforcements and supplies. Here we see a Ukrainian.
Wait, no, it doesn't have belts. What is that?
To send in.
Yeah, what is that? That's not a belt. It doesn't. It's not a track vehicle. It runs on tires. So I don't know what that's from.
More reinforcements and supplies. Here we see a Ukrainian M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle driving up within 50 to 100 meters away from where the 7 Russian infantry were dropped off.
Yeah, that's some good news we actually have. The Artemis 2 got home safely and the crew is fine, thankfully. I was so scared that like something bad was gonna happen. Like spaceflight terrifies me because like you're in such a unknown environment that like if the slightest thing goes wrong, you're just fucking screwed. And also like getting up there is incredibly complex and mathematically terrifying. Just like the numbers themselves scare me because bad math. And so it's so many, one little thing goes wrong and then everyone's fucking dead. And so I was actually like really scared. I didn't know when Artemis 2 was scheduled to go back, but literally like when I was at work, I saw like on Tumblr of all things, I saw like Artemis 2 come back, and like, oh, okay, that's cool. They're back. Welcome home.
The dismounted soldiers in order to get an angle to fire on them. The Russian infantry are pinned down by explosions and gunfire.
Not doing so hot, are they? Yeah, there's so much art of like the crew and everything, which is really sweet. Okay, you can't look at
Bradley
that.
fires high explosive shells all around the Russian infantry. Shrapnel flies.
Yeah, that means doing his job.
The Bradley continued firing into the Russian infantry positions. The fire makes it impossible for the infantry to stand up without support from their vehicle's autocannon.
But isn't their vehicle like down? I mean,
there are some parts that are too graphic that we had to cut out here, but the entire 7 Russian infantry squad is killed by the Bradley fire. The tactical error here was that they were dropped off too far forward, and they had no anti-tank weapons on them. The battle has only started, though. Russian command sends in a second BTR. It drives straight through a landmine at top speed and keeps going, a piece of its armor hanging off the front.
Wait, was that hanging earlier?
It drives straight. Has only
that was already hanging off before it hit the mine.
Though. Russian command sends in a second BTR. It drives straight through a landmine at top speed and keeps going. A piece of its armor hanging off.
I slept through the Artemis 2 landing. That's kind of. I mean, what was I doing? I was like getting ready for work. I think.
Of 2 more armored vehicles. The BTR.
Actually, no. I think it happened last night
fire from a
when they landed.
Bradley,
like 8 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's when they landed.
Shells exploding around the vehicle.
So like about 24 hours ago.
They speed up, trying to get out.
What was I doing? I was playing like Halo or something.
The Russian BTR reaches the drop-off point where a disabled BTR is parked. The Russian infantry dismount from top of the vehicle. They are under close drone surveillance. A round explodes near the disabled BTR. More shots hit the top of the vehicle and rear. Each one
I'm back, COA. Welcome. Oh, they're getting fucked. Ooh.
What happens next is too graphic to show some of the footage, but the direct fire from the Ukrainian Bradley starts impacting on the 2 Russian armored vehicles and the Russian infantry.
I feel like I'm being like
cut through the armored vehicles' hulls.
I'm being very like what's the word? I'm being very insensitive right now.
Fires start to break out around the brush.
I kind of wish I could just see it from like this view and like not see like the drone footage anymore. Maybe we should like skip from this and just go on to like the more silly stuff.
Direction fast. This brigade and its soldiers will be locked in some of the most brutal combat of the war.
Yeah, maybe we should like skip this. I feel like I'm doing a disservice. Like human lives are being lost. That's not fair. That's not right. So let's just move on to like more silly stuff. And I like I said, I was just gonna watch that on my own, and I don't think it's appropriate to like go over it like the way I do, the way I go over stuff on live like that on your own time. Yeah, I'll do it on my own time. Let's go into like the silly stuff, the random bullshit. I have a lot of stuff to go over. What should we start with? Which ones? I mean, there was some Twitch drama. We were talking about Twitch earlier, right? I kind of want to talk about this first, though. Alright, everyone, my favorite topic ever. Again, like my notes. Let me pull up my notes for this one. My favorite thing to talk about ever. That's the wrong notes. Priest insisting that the femboys are trans and playing victim when they're wrong. My favorite fucking subject. I love talking about people being fucking weirdos about about femboy characters. It's such a gratifying topic for me. Fucking Rev drama. Did Rev do something bad? I mean, as far as I'm aware, Rev hasn't done anything. I use him as a source. I don't really ever talk about things involving Rev. I did have an opportunity to, because there was the whole, he was banned from, not banned, he was part of that advanced thing, that one promotion site, and they fired him. Well, they let him and his wife go because they're too problematic, and we might look a little into that. But as far as any of the topics I picked for this week, he didn't do anything as far as I'm aware. Or is like directly involved in any of this. It's just like stuff that like he covered and yada yada. Anyway, Yeah, they're coming for the femboys again. Like, because they're always fucking coming for the femboys. Oh, the one draw lane. It's actually made me sad. What happened, Miami? Is it something like, I don't know, I might, if it's something like kind of related, I might talk about it.
3 months ago on the subreddit JJK, a Redditor says...
Alright. Okay, guys, if you don't know what this is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's one of the more popular ongoing manga, and I think there's an anime too going on. I haven't seen it. I'm not like super, I'm not really into like mainstream manga. I guess I'm very hipster. The last, I don't really follow a lot of like the ongoing manga. Like I prefer to like wait until like they're done and there's not too much people going around about it, and then go in and start reading. Like right now I'm barely started to read like Chainsaw Man like a year ago. But yeah, that's just me. But this one, it was drawn on X. His wife was basically saying her and him don't like lowly stuff anymore. Oh, of course they don't. I mean, they don't have to like it, but as of like a recent video, was it this one? It might have been this one. This was like literally a day ago. He was saying how he still like defends like VTubers who want to be lowlies and do lowly content. Like they don't have to like it, but I feel like if they're saying that we do not like lowly content anymore, and they're decided like they're putting their foot down that this is like a moral thing, that's kind of pathetic. If that's exactly what they're saying. I gotta look into that now. Let me see. I'm kind of scared to show you guys my Twitter. I'm not gonna show you guys my Twitter. Don't look at my Twitter. There might be something bad here. I'm subscribed to a lot of like porn artists, so we probably should take it easy or go in cautiously. Let me see if I can find Rev. What did Rev do? A Danganronpa fan game. One of his VAs was caught for being in an inappropriate relationship, and one of the directors and writers knew for years. Ooh, okay. I didn't know about that, but that's pretty rough. I'm not really. I know you love Danganronpa, and I do want to play the Danganronpa game someday. But I'm not super into like the scene as of right now, unfortunately. So anything like that, I'm just like not aware. But I might look into, like, again, it didn't cross my radar, so I guess it's not really like too prevalent to me. Is that a fucking Lalafell getting pussy blasted? I'm looking at so much naughty stuff right now, guys. You can't even believe. Yeah. Didn't know about that. Look at Esperito X account. Esperito. Sure, I'll try Esperito. Esperito. Is it Otaku Esperito? Add Otaku Esperito. Look, I can't deny. This is how I beat. Let's see. Okay, I'm on the right guy, I think. I don't know. I'm not seeing. How long ago was this? Like yesterday? A few days ago? Yaru. The reflection. I just wanted to say, is this it? Is this fucking it? After a night of, okay, let's go back to the thing. Where's my art? My music. Okay, I think this might be it. I have the document that explains in better detail. You might fit some explanation with a thing. Damn. I mean, don't feel the need to like put it in your fic, like addressing the conflict or anything like that. That's not your job. Like, you just want to make your fic. If you don't want to like get involved, don't feel like you have to. Like me, I'm a drama whore, so like I get involved when people don't want me to. So that's me. But like, don't feel like you have to do the same thing. Okay, is this it? I just want to say this and then when it comes to yes, I handled that poorly yesterday. I was generally overwhelmed because Red was streaming the whole time. This was happening last night, and the stream was something else. Accusing him of being anti-censorship. What's wrong with being anti-censorship? That's a good thing. You should be anti-censorship. The controversy wasn't making me stressed because it was causing unneeded stress. God, they're kind of treating this like a crisis of fate, aren't they? Like, I know Straub is religious, but like, it's fucking drawings of anime girls. Calm the fuck down. Leslie does a lot of heavy lifting in the drama space. The word allegedly. Okay. Allegedly. We were talking about how that's gonna become like a very popular word, isn't it? Blocking. By blocking you. Blocking who? Who are you blocking? I've almost been an impression that lowly was not inherently sexual. It isn't inherently sexual. It's a body type. It can be sexual. It can be a tag. The same way redhead can be a tag in porn. It doesn't mean if you have red hair, you're inherently sexual. Specifically, not so fine. So maybe there's some confusion there for some people when I said lolicon porn. Yeah, lolicon. Yeah, I guess lolicon is the porn. Yeah, what is this? I don't know. I'm confused too. Also, hey, Snowy Mommy. welcome. There's some lowly drama going on with Rev and Straub. Two creators I like, but I think they're having a bit of a something going on with them. Hold on. Porn of that matter, of that up, or any porn for that matter. Okay, she doesn't like porn. Period. I think it's silly, but she is a very religious woman, so like, you know, power to her. If she doesn't want to consume porn, fine, whatever. Again, she's very religious, very traditional. Like, that's her choice. But if I want to goon all day, that's my choice. Just saying. So you get about it from a Christian perspective, that's fine. Yeah, exactly. Because if it's a Christian belief that all porn is bad, sure, fine. You want to believe that, fine. I'm Catholic. I was raised Catholic, but like, I don't care. If I'm horny, I'm horny. I can't really, you know, what am I gonna do about it? I've had doctors and priests tell me, if you have urges, take care of it. Take care of it. It's normal. It's okay. It's fine. Like, I don't know. I guess you would disagree with these doctors and these priests, but fine, whatever. The point is, like, especially if you're a priest, because like the priest gave it to me the way, like, again, multiple priests, they talk to me like this from their perspective as men of God. They can't get married, they can't have children, they can't engage in sexual activity, period. But they're still men, they're still human. They still have urges, so it's fine if you need to like let loose, so to speak, every now and then. It's fine. It's okay, especially if you're a young guy too. If you're like in your 20s and 30s and you're still raring to go, like, you gotta let it go every now and then. Like, you know, how the song goes, something's got to give. So, but that's just my perspective. That's my perspective. Like, if Straub and Reb want to live a chaste life and like cut off porn entirely, that is their choice. They are entitled to that 100%. My problem is if they're trying to push this on somebody else, but so far that doesn't seem to be the problem. I don't think, at least she's not saying you need to follow my beliefs. Not, at least not yet. Let me see. I don't think she is gonna say that, but I'm just saying, like, that would be crossing the line. It does not call for censorship or harassment or everything. Okay, yeah, see, that's fine. Yeah. Many people have a right to choose things for themselves. Yeah, sure. Yeah, see, I think she's perfectly on base up so far. That's that clear. I said it before many times. I will say this: it isn't CSEM, and I'm not calling anyone a pedo over this. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, like if you call somebody a pedo or accuse them of like consuming or making child porn because they like engage in lolicon, you're fucking retarded. That's the beginning and end of it. My chocolate fell off my desk. This is a disaster. But yeah, that's but she's right. You're not a pedo for engaging with it. Like, but like she's coming from the perspective like, I don't want to engage with it at all because she is Christian and she's a very devout Christian and she doesn't want to engage with porn, period, which is again her choice. Amount of times I heard allegedly from a crime video. Allegedly. Get used to that word. It's a fun word. It's a very useful word. Care in the healthiest way possible. Yeah. Like again, like if you have urges, you know, it's normal body function. It's fine. It is weird that Red built a career doing your likes are public and is now saying lowly is weird and porn is bad. It's kind of wow. That is a bit weird. To be fair, we're only seeing Straub's perspective on this so far. I can't say anything about Rev yet. They are two separate people. They're married and they have very similar opinions, obviously. But like, I would like to hear his position too first. It doesn't mean I am trying to hate on you. I don't care. I don't look at you as less than. I'm certainly not perfect as you have certainly seen. And if you aren't a Christian, I honestly don't expect you to agree with me anyways. I mean, as a Christian, or like Catholic, whatever, you know, it's a subsect of Christianity. As a Catholic, I already gave my reasons as to like, it's fine. It's fucking fine. But I don't know, whatever. I'm a filthy fucking Catholic. I don't know. Some Orthodox Christians might look at me and think I'm like a fucking... I'm fucking weird or whatever. I don't know. We can agree to disagree if you don't like my position of porn being sinful, my position is on it. Sure, I'm fine with that. Like, you can call it sinful or whatever, and I don't really care if you consider it sinful. I mean, the way I perceive that is like, is it a sin? Like, okay, maybe, maybe not. Sure. But the thing that matters is that we're both human. We're all human. Well, I'm not. I'm a fucking bunny boy. But we're sentient beings, and because of that, we are sinful by our very nature. The point is to accept and love God in Jesus Christ. Again, I'm not trying to preach at you guys. I'm just trying to like say from her perspective. I'm trying to like look at it from her perspective. Like, I'm not gonna quote the Bible to you guys, but I'm just trying to like say from what she's saying. And like, sin is natural. It's just something that happens. And the point is, like, at the end of the day, the only person who can really judge you for your sins is God. To be fair, she's not saying that she's judging you, but in a little, she's doing it a little bit by seeing you're being sinful. And like, I mean, again, like, you're not, only God can really say if I'm being sinful or not. And that's like a conversation with, you know, you and God, not us, not me and you. You know, that's what if you understand what I'm trying to say. Not the chocolate. This wasn't where the drama started. It's basically an apology tweet afterwards. Okay. I mean, I gathered that much. This does feel like more like an apology, or like, I mean, I like to think the best of people, and if they did something, if they did a bad and they're willing to say I'm sorry, I did it wrong, I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that like this is their final say and their final word. Like I imagine the preamble to this was her calling everyone fucking pedos, or implying that you're a pedo if you like lolicon, or if you like porn in general, you're a degenerate, blah 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 blah, and all that. But like, this is her being a bit more kinder and a bit more calmer on retrospective. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. Was it a Kit Kat bar? It's like a gold. It's like a $100,000 bar, I think. I need to look at it again. I need to pick it up, but I don't want to grab it. Mama Octo also made a video about the drama today. I bet she did, or they did. Excuse me. I might look into that, but I'd rather. I mean, what? We don't need a video. We can just look at. I can look at it myself. I'm right here. But my position on it is firm. Fine, whatever. I mean, that's your lifestyle. This is my lifestyle. Let's agree to disagree. Some people made some claims about would you want me jailed for watching porn, etc. My honest answer is no. Okay, that's good. Of course I wouldn't. I'm also honest. I do not personally see how we could even ban porn in the first place. It certainly feels like a Pandora's box that can't be closed once it's been opened. That's true. I hope you're doing it because of the principle and not because you're scared that you will be censored first. I mean, that should also be a factor, but you know. But do it because it's the right thing and not because I'm worried they're gonna come for me next. You know, that kind of mentality. I would honestly worry about the type of government that would be able to do these things, and where else I could lead to as well. But I also want to honestly say that I am not a scholar or a lawmaker. I don't have all the answers or anything, blah 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 blah, especially on Twitter. And when I say I want to change the culture, well, spreading the gospel does change culture, as people will change. I mean, that's fine. You can keep talking about God, do whatever. Will with God's will, when I generally encounter him and choose to follow him. That change is going to occur. It has to be because of free will, and nobody would force anyone to become a Christian. Okay. There is like an underlying level of like chastisement and judgment going on, unfortunately, here. Did not handle this conversation well, and I take 100% possibility. I honestly be engaging in the score to begin with. I might have good intentions. If you can bring more harm than good. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, she's apologizing. Good for her. All right, here's somebody opinion I respect. Savvy. See, homie, this was very silly. Just came down to 2 posts, I think, and blocking Caddy. That made people confused. We are making. So this is the person they blocked. This Caddy person. I have no idea who this is. I'm doing it's all good. Generally no one minds you don't like porn. Like, I don't mind if she doesn't like porn. I just don't want her to like be rude to other people because they like porn. I can't ask her to not judge people because you're gonna judge people no matter what. Like, that's just how it is. Like, if you're doing something I don't agree with, I'm gonna judge you as, like, you know, at least somewhat harshly for it. Like, that's just like matter of fact. This is how it is. That being said, it doesn't mean you have to be rude to them. I don't know if people think this is some brave declaration. I find it difficult to watch flesh porn because I'm awkward. I'm always like drawing content more, but I don't feel like this. Can't explain it beyond. Just have a funny thing to explore in blame. Agree. Sign. You live and learn. Okay, sure. I guess. I mean, like, I guess the big takeaway is like, I mean, what was your original response? Is it around here? Plot scene vibe. God, if you know, you know. Where is it? Unfollow me. He forced me to unfollow him. Yay, that proves to me that you're not the person you claim to be anymore. Thanks to ooh, this is getting kind of fucked up. Let's see. Being a brand risk low. I'm about as big a brand risk as there is out there, and that won't change. No worries around. I also think so many people are confused about the difference between lowly and petite body type fiction and lolicon porn. For 5+ years, I've stated that lolicon is degenerate. Oh wow, okay. Like any fetish, but you shouldn't be harassed over it and have it censored because people find it as such. I mean, my hair, yeah. Straw stated before that lolicon does not just equal porn. What she said is her sorcery, so to say this is how now his stance changing his views of the mask, flipping off even after he did her big ass sorry tweet. So Straw whole fucking sorry post was just fucking damage control because he was probably losing subscribers and viewers. Ew. There's Bali pillows under lowly avatar. I mean, yeah, Rez avatar is a lowly, and this is a body pillow. Body pillows are degenerate. I mean, any fetish you can argue is degenerate, but I don't know. It was yesterday. Okay, so we're still waiting on these. Let me see what else we got. I want to see like his words, like his actual words. Here you are. Alright, again. It's not changed. No, like in Lily does not make you a pedophile. I mean, that's right. That's correct. No, that you and other taboo should not be censored. No, you should not be harassed or fictional or weird or degenerate. Yes, you should be allowed to make your own choices with fictional content you consume. I have been very open about coming back to Christ about a year ago. I mean, that's fine. And I don't want to engage in these subjects, specifically in covering the more explicit. That's what I'm comfortable with. We'll respect the boundary. Okay, so far so good. However, here's the big asterisk. It does not mean my stances have changed in the general sense. People have the right to choose what fictional content they consume personally, and it shouldn't be harassed for certain artwork subjects to censorship because of its nature. Okay, that's fine. I haven't seen anything like bad so far. I said nothing to the contrary. Things could have been worded more clearly from Straw this entire conversation. Okay, so it sounds like most of the heat is coming from like what Straub said. I don't know what she said. I want to see what she said. It sounds like it was really fucking bad because like so far Straub's apology and Rev's clarification, it's not really an apology. Like, he can't apologize for his wife. That's not how this works. But the clarification, which is what this is, I think I would call this, seems relatively fine. I don't see anything like particularly I particularly object against. Because of its nature, I have said nothing other things have not been worded more excuse me. censored and harassed over this topic for years at the cost of harassment, threats, and slander toward us, but we still don't regret doing it. Clarify some things. Okay. Reverse iDubbbz and Anissa, who are now distancing themselves from the pro fiction, pro loli scene. Oh yeah, this guy I don't like either. He had a conversation with I think this might have started with this guy, in my opinion. I saw that Straub did like a little interview with this guy, and the conversation was primarily about does like a woman's body count? It did. Oh my god. This is where y'all started. I didn't even know. I watched that video and I was like, whatever. I didn't even care about it. Like I didn't even like think enough about it. I didn't think enough about it to like actually like go into it regarding even talking about it. Like it wasn't on the itinerary for today. But yeah, so like this whole conversation was just them talking about like does body count matter? Like, you know, like and like to an extent like we're not gonna get into it, but like it was like, you know, Straub from like a Christian woman point of view, like does it matter if you had like a promiscuous past and you had like lots of partners and you slept around a lot in your younger years, and like, you know, now you're older now and you want to like find like a new partner and you want to like settle down properly? Is it justifiable to judge you for that? And yeah, that was what the conversation's about. We can talk about that later. But then I saw this comic and it made me think so much less of this guy, because he was just saying like, oh, I fucking hate lolis. Like it literally just, that's what it devolves down to. Reverend's made it clear that he feels the same way I do. You can see that even wanna just go up. Where I stand on all this, I declare this now. I also never said defending. However, you do understand that for the most part, Rev is still currently known for associating to lowly serve, right? It's common knowledge to only everyone but me, since I didn't watch his stuff now and try to listen to my people. I don't know about this. Yeah, so like I assume this is like a continuation of that like conversation, but basically the first comment he made, which was like a tagged comment that he posted underneath his own video, basically saying like oh, they like lolis, like that's really fucking creepy and gross and yada yada. Guy is Christian and doesn't think any Christian should engage or promote any pornographic material, period. Yeah, that sounds really fucking stupid. I mean, if he's consistent with that, like it doesn't just involve lolicon, like period, he's just like porn bad, period, and like he keeps it to himself, like he himself believes I should not consume porn, and that is my choice, and anyone can do what they want. But this is my choice. If he keeps it to that, then fine, I don't care. But the moment he starts like judging other people and well, not judging, but like, you know, telling other people that they can't do that, that's where I start having an issue with. Like I already explained that earlier. You can see that even in one of your comments the community posted below, someone mentioned how it came up to his last stream and he clarified the position. As Christians, we shouldn't defend porn in any form, and we don't. But you do. But dude, I mean, you defend but it's complicated. Like they did clarify that there is a difference between lolicon and loli, like the art style loli, and then lolicon as in the porn of it. But they're also anti-censorship, and they also say that people should be able to consume what they want, that's what you're doing, you're defending it. Like I could say tomorrow that I am completely anti-porn for myself. However, I will 100% fight so that other people can consume that content if they want to. And I thought that's what they were doing, and now they're saying that they don't do that. I understand, but some people are taking it away, even though you said our past. I think it would be helpful to clarify that I currently believe, not necessarily need to share the blah 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 blah. I do understand wanting and clarify your position and all this, but I just do wish you would make us stance more clear so people don't think either me think lolicon is good. Okay, so that's where that is. Okay. Interesting. Why is my drama feed just leave all that happened in AO3 fanfic mode? I mean, it's probably because you do a lot of fanfic and all that, which is fine. You can do that. It's fair. Guy also made vid criticizing Leaflet for having a NASA wafer tab for her Discord. Oh, is he that much of a fucking prude? Yeah, this guy, the Reaper, whatever. I can't even read his name. What is it? Remnant 777. Yeah, is he that much of a fucking prude that he just like? So like, I'm a problem too because I have a not safe for work tab in my server, dude. It's none of your fucking business. What people like do in their spare fucking time. It's starting to understand. I'm starting to understand a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna get. Where did I disavow lowly content? Bringing up Christianity here is unnecessary when your stance doesn't actually change. Being a brand risk low. I don't really care about your brand risk, dude. It's more that like you're kind of like going all over the place. Like again, like I don't have a problem if he doesn't want to engage in porn himself. That is his decision. But if he starts to say that like I can't, you can't really be anti-censorship and then be anti-porn as well. I mean, you can be anti-censorship for what you want, I guess. But at the same time, you're kind of like missing the point. You should be, I mean, I guess you can pick and choose, but I argue that it's not a good thing because like, just because like you're anti-censorship for what you want doesn't mean that what you don't want, just because the thing you don't want, God, how do I explain this? What you want to be, to not be touched and not be censored could easily be targeted tomorrow because of because like it's just like a blanket thing, because like you it's like that saying I said nothing when like it's like I forgot how the extra saying goes, but basically like if you don't speak up now, they're gonna come for your stuff later is what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't even have to be porn. It could be literally anything. Like, heck, we saw, like, one of the things I wanted to talk about was how Doki Doki Literature Club got removed from the Google Play Store the other day. And that's just about, like, suicide and mental trauma. There's, like, there's next to no sexual content in this game. Just, like, you know, implied, like, high school romance. And that's basically it. And I don't think he would want that to be censored, but this is we're pushing. I don't know. We're getting kind of weird here. Man, Matt, don't you love it when like live action actually like does correct? Now then, hey, aren't we all over 18 plus? I think all of us are over 20 plus. Yeah, there is, but I like to like keep it like, you know, separate, because the point is we don't want if you don't want to look at like not safe for work stuff, like you don't have to. Like just because you're 18 plus doesn't mean like you're always gonna want to look at porn. Person that sells, yeah. Let's go to Rev. Let's go to Rev's page. Let's just see like what does he have to fucking say. So we're so back. Glad he's having fun. Yeah, he hasn't like said too much recently. Not changed. I mean, again, he's entitled to this. Not sure. It seems like the bigger people like Chibi and Straub, not Straub. I mean, Straub obviously, because Straub's like kind of the center of this. Have to go on all around gently better take on this discourse like Country Mile. This man understands it. Okay, sure. Porn has nothing to do with each other. You got Pussy White. It's plain and simple. Let's Pussy White. Oh, that's rude. That's really bad. That's really nasty. He's implying that like his wife is correcting him. And it's kind of forcing him to like be more moral and such, which is just that's very not very kind. I don't know why I'm calling people on that. Cinnaboni. Alright. Speak for Rev. This happened a while. Ko was streaming. Well, yeah, because from what I understand, yeah, Rev was streaming at the time, and she kind of started like panicking, which I guess is fine. Some people can be like that, and she kind of felt that she had to like talk about it with him around. I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's kind of like I mean, like, it's good to rely on your partner, but it's kind of like they need each other to like be willing to openly discuss things, especially if it's like a serious topic, which they consider this to be serious when it isn't really. At least it shouldn't be. Sensitive subject matter. It's fucking cartoons. Then had to sweep for his wife being an idiot. There's a clip of Rev on is a clip of Rev on stream talking about it. I can try to find it if you want. Yeah, if you find it, please send it to me. I mean, so far, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt to Rev and Straub. There are undertones of, like, being judgmental and kind of, like, thinking of other people as lesser for being into porn or lolicon. But they're pretty firm stance on anti-censorship and also... like, you're allowed to consume that stuff and you're not like a criminal for it or whatever, or a lesser person because of it. It's just like in the eyes of their faith, it's not for them, which again is fine. And let me like get like a final like nail in the coffin on this. You are allowed to, I think you can defend something without being like, you know, engaging in it, you know, like it's like that famous line says, like I don't agree with what you have to say, but I will defend your right to say it. Yeah, that's probably the best way to look at it. Just because they don't like lolicon and they they consider it degenerate, and like to be fair, it's a bit of a degenerate. It's a little degenerate. Especially if you're using that term hyperbolically, you're just like, you know, being silly about it. Is that the thing? Ti? Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, that's probably a good place to put it. Alright, let's see. What's the boy got to say? Let me make that. Listen tab. Thank you.
This with a $5 super chat saying, sorry, I don't wish to stir up drama. Rob said you are anti-lolicon in Remnant video, and us lolly lovers are confused. Please clarify. I did see some people trying to bring up some random quote of that, and that's literally not at all what anybody's saying. The fact is that we don't consume that stuff because it's
that's
we're
fine.
Not consuming lolicon because we don't look at porn.
That's fine. That's
Things have completely changed. People's reading comprehension on that is absolutely deranged, and the weird thing is people are using aunties who are trying to make that conversation. The conversation she said is that lolly is a body type, just like I've said for years and years, and yes.
That's
fetishes
true.
like that are degenerate. That's something that I've said for years and years. And my stance has always been, and will continue to be, to this moment, is that people have the right to choose the fictional content that they want.
I think the word degenerate is kind of like throwing a wrench into everything, because I don't know. Like, I joke around and call myself degenerate. Like, I joke around and call, like, you know, Mizu and Royan degenerates and Miho's degenerates. Like, I call my friends degenerate all the fucking time. But, like, yes, I'm like friends. But, like, if you hear somebody call you degenerate and, like, they're a stranger, it kind of, like, if you go by the literal meaning of that word, they are calling you Sundari Gator. He's a fucking degenerate. But the point is, like, if you take the literal meaning of that word, it is not a good word. It's a pretty strong word that you're kind of like calling somebody lesser and like you know, a degenerate. They're like they're a freak, they're a weirdo, they're abnormal. And like, to in a sense, I'm like, yeah, I guess you are. If you're into lolicon, if you're like into porn, period, you are a little abnormal. I mean, this is at least a little bit, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't use that word. Now, I don't want to, like, tone police Rev or Straub or anyone, really, but, like, I think that's a potential hiccup here, where some people, like, I know for me, like, like, when I hear him say that word, it makes me, like, raise my eyebrows a little bit. It's like, is that this? Are you sure you want to say it like that? And But yeah, let's. It's just that's like my big. That's what I'm hanging up on. But when I'm thinking about it more logically, it's like it's kind of being used hyperbole, and at the same time, it is kind of true. But at the same time, it's like you're allowed to be a degenerate, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like you can be like I can be a degenerate and go consume as much futanari porn as I want. And it doesn't mean anyone's gonna like judge or hate me, or like they should judge or hate me on that. Like that's not appropriate for them to do because like it's just fictional porn. It's my choice.
People being called pedophiles for consuming that content. I don't know where this is all coming from. It's very strange. I've been getting tagged and stuff all morning over it.
Okay.
It's really weird. Like she said in the comments, she's like, it's bad. Well, yeah, it's bad for her because like me, we're Christians. We're not going to consume that. That doesn't mean other people don't have the right to consume whatever adult content they want. And I know someone's going to clip this. I mean, this is not in any way.
Hey!
It's been like nonstop with this stuff today.
That's fair. I can understand if you get annoyed by it.
Is anyone surprised by what I just said? I've had multiple people be like, oh my gosh, Rev has become an auntie today. Rev has literally become an auntie. He's a grifter. He's an unironic grifter. My opinion is the exact same. And same with Straub. I have no idea what anyone's talking about, but I'm
all right.
I'm glad
I think I
clarified
figured
that.
out what's going on here. Now I'll give my final breakdown.
Like,
an update here.
Why would a Christian not...
I want to grab my chocolate.
Why would a Christian want to go out and consume porn? Is that surprising to people that someone wouldn't want to do that as a Christian?
Not really.
It's not even talking about what other people can do. So I've been seeing this all day. And I literally, like, it's so stupid. I don't even want to talk about it. But you know what? Some people are asking.
It's a $1 million bar.
Right.
Creamy milk chocolate bar.
That's what I've been thinking you would say, but I figured that was your stance. Yeah,
By
it's fair if you want to ask. Like, I think that it's fair that you ask because a lot of people are just running with narratives that like just don't make any sense. But yeah, I'm not like. By the way, I'm not like going off on you. It's more like some of the crazy stuff.
Yeah, I can see like he's frustrated right now, which is fair.
I have become an auntie because I no longer, as a Christian, want to consume porn.
Oh, thanks for the water, by the way, Miami.
Crazy. Crazy stuff.
God, it's taking up so much of our time. Alright, so that's basically the gist of it. Alright. Okay, I think I kind of gathered what's going on here. I think it's kind of getting overblown a little bit. I think you're correct, TOA. Like I might have to dig a little bit more before like I definitively say this, but I think it kind of started with what is this? Holy God, great taste. Exactly. I'm memeing. If you don't like Loli, it's fine. You don't have to like Loli. I'm trying to find that single. Oh, don't look at that. That's degenerate right there. Like, how to get the baddie. Let's give her money. I'm trying to find the original. This is a little concerning. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know who Esperito is, but they are pushing a bit hard, so I can kind of see why Rev is getting kind of fed up, and it's like, okay, dude, you're being really annoying to me and my wife. So he unfollowed Rev, and then I think it seems like he eventually blocked this person too. And I assume you follow them, TOA, and you respect them and their opinion, which is fine. But I can see why Rev kind of got fed up with them because like they're kind of pushing it excessively, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it started with this guy, the Revnet 777 dude. Also, hey Raymond, welcome. We're talking about Loli drama. I guess there's always more of that. And we'll listen to this one. Sounds really good. But yeah, I think it started with this conversation that Straub had with Revenant. His acquaintance with Akko and Mizu. Oh, the other dude? Okay, that's fair. Yeah, like, I don't know them, so I can't really speak to them, but I think they are, from what I'm seeing, I think they are bordering on harassing Rev and Straub. Like again, like I don't want to use that word flippantly, but I think they're like it's getting to the point that's getting really annoying. And it seems like he said he's being one of the more louder voices, and that's why Rev felt the need to like push back on them. Anyway, but like that aside, like that's not my business, that's their drama, that's their own deal. But I think this all started with Revenant and this conversation that this interview that Straub and Revenant had, and I feel like Straub felt like an overwhelming need to defend herself when it came to like Revenant talking about Lolicon and all that. Because I can't find the original comment, but I did read it, and it basically sounded like he just considered Lolicon period as degeneracy. Like there was no clarification of like you know, like I don't like it, but you can consume it if you want. You're not a bad person if you consume it. You're not a pedo if you consume it. You know, that there was no clarification of that. He was just a blanket statement. Lolicon bad. If you like it, shame on you. And like as a Christian, that's my stance. And like, and that's where like I had a big like kind of like I've seen a few of this guy's videos, and I thought he was like pretty alright until I saw that comment. I was like, okay, whatever. And then I shelved him, and I clicked like don't recommend channel, and I was done with it. I was like, whatever, who cares? But another fucking weirdo I don't have to like listen to. But I think Straub took it a little too personally, a little too hard. And again, we haven't seen like her original tweet, but I imagine it was worded in that very similar way, of very much implying that if you like Lolicon or if you like porn in general, you are a degenerate, you are awful, you are a bad person, you should be judged and ridiculed for it, blah 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 blah. Which is not an okay stance to have, because it's cartoons. Who gives a fuck? If you give a fuck, there's something wrong with you. You're getting a little too involved and too into it. So yeah, that said, I think Straub panicked, and Rev kind of had to come in a little bit, and I'm gonna be a little hyperbolic and be a little mean. He had to come in and clean up his woman's mess. I'm playing mostly. But you know what I mean. Like he, you know, it's his wife. He loves her. He's defensive of her, and so he felt the need to come in and like you know, play defense for her. And eventually, she came around with her more complete tweet, which I think is a lot like better worded. And like I don't know. I take your. I'm gonna go ahead and like play. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest, and I'm gonna like take her word for it. And I think this is like a way better word of it. Like again, like she's a Christian. She doesn't like porn. Period. Lolicon is just part of it. Like it doesn't mean like she hates you particularly if you like Lolicon. And she doesn't hate you at all if you like porn. Period. It's just like she doesn't consume it. Neither does Rev. That's just their lifestyle that they chose for themselves. They're not gonna try to force you or shame you if you don't want to do it. If you don't want to like follow suit, like that's fine. And I think that's fair. You know, you do you, I do me. Like you know, that kind of thing. It's okay to jab your own opinion. What do you mean like that? I don't know that word. What does that mean? So I eat the Kit Kat sauces. I'm gonna eat it. I wanna eat this chocolate bar, but I'm doing the mud to have your own opinion. Oh, okay, there you go. Sorry, I'm sorry. Like all these like new terms, I keep getting confused. I'm sorry. That's my fault. But yeah, I think this is mostly a nothing burger. I'm sorry that Espiritu. I'm probably saying their name wrong. I'm sorry Espiritu is like interpreted as like Rev is like betraying them and all that, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think Rev and Straub had kind of been forced to like clarify their position. It's just like we're still and their position is this: we're still anti-censorship. We just don't like it for us. If you consume that, fine, but it's not for us, and that's fine. That's a perfectly okay position to have, because again, it's like that saying, I do not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend your right to the deaf to say it. And I think they still hold true to that. They don't consume porn, they don't like porn, but they will defend and they will come to bat for people who want to consume it for themselves. Because like again, fictional porn, especially drawn porn, and Lolicon is under that label, it's fine. It's fictional. It doesn't bother anybody. And if we're talking about like live action porn, as long as all parties are involved are consensual adults, I don't give a fuck. I don't even, and as long as like they're not doing anything that like potentially cause like bodily or permanent harm, you know, like gore, like live gore or anything like that. Like that's you know, I feel like that's a pretty obvious line to draw, but you know, we shouldn't have to like put an asterisk after an asterisk as an asterisk. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's another guy. It's a guy who's like trying to like fight back. Okay, I assume this guy is like this straight up just saying lowly. If you're a lowly liker, you're a bad person. Period. I'm not associating rep with this, people. More religious undertones rather than secular. It is if it quacks like a thick variant. Ammo for trad larping antis. I think there's a problem. All I want is for him to clarify, clearly explain himself, but both have made tweet after tweet saying 10 different things. Does not even cover all the other things she said, just pretend she never said. I mean, again, I haven't seen the original tweet by Straub. Maybe I should look at Akko's video on it. Fuck. God, this wasn't supposed to be the main thing for today. Okay, fine. Fine. Fine, I'll do my due diligence. Let's see if Akko has like a full video on it that I can like get over this. 26 minutes.
While the rest of the world is focused on a cheating man and a bunch of women who tried to get into
You don't have to. I'm going to. I already did it.
his DMs,
Already starting.
I am going to turn back the clock and focus on a situation that has basically come to its conclusion.
I'm gonna eat my chocolate
and
while
I
I'm
would
watching
like
this.
to recap for some people and give my opinions on the situation as a whole.
Let's see.
That being the
Sorry.
drama
No, you're
that
good, Tio.
spawned
This is
when
interesting. There's nothing else.
commentary-esque YouTuber Remnant777 decided to
777.
post a video where he had a discussion with Darling Straub
Yeah,
about
we already know
boredom.
this. Like, this is kind of like the catalyst of everything. I feel like this guy kind of pushed Straub into a corner. I think he is partially to blame. Oh my god. Okay, I want to see Straub's original tweet. I imagine it's somewhere around here. If I can see it, that would help. Assuming, you know, Straub's like fat tit, not Straub, Octo's fat tits don't block it.
Here as if this were in DMs. This stuff doesn't just go away. I to
Yeah,
go
this is
through
all
everything
here.
and how we got
To attend my nephews. Well, good luck with that. I hope it doesn't rain for
to
tomorrow.
this point. Starting off here, all of this spawned and comment would say lolly, and I do not. A lot of you have brought to my attention to Straub and Rev's history concerning lolicons. When
Oh,
I was recording this
no.
conversation in my live stream, I was completely ignorant of it, and I do not condone lolly whatsoever.
Yeah, see, like that's what like I had a problem with. His like response, like lolicon is bad, period. And like there's not really any way to like reinterpret that. It's just like lowly bad, period. And if you're into it, yeah.
I posted this conversation because I am in favor of hearing out people who I disagree with online so we can have productive conversation. If I
Mhm.
knew about the lolly stuff, things would have been different. Now,
That wasn't the subject of the video though. They were not talking about lolicon. Why why even bring it up?
let's scroll down to Darling Straub's reply here, and I feel like, unfortunately for Remnant, she kind of BTFOs him and exposes a potential lie that he gave to his audience. Darling Straub would say, quote, I feel it is a bit unfair to make a post like this without you first acknowledging in this post that I told you I find lolicon, porn, immoral, and degenerate, and that I feel all porn
Audience
is
brought it up.
immoral, sinful, wrong.
Yeah, like I get that they brought it, that his audience brought it up. At the same time, my problem is that apparently he would have changed the not the debate, the conversation or the interview would have gone completely different, or because that's what that sounds like. Like, why does that matter? Like, that wasn't the subject matter. I told you what the subject matter was. It was about like body count in prior relationships, and how does that relate to, like, you know, potentially finding a partner in the future, like a long ended relationship in the future. So I don't. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm judging him on. Like that doesn't relate at all, in my opinion.
I just don't believe that it is the same as CSAM. Side note, I agree. That doesn't mean I defend or think that it is good. It most certainly isn't. My past is my past, but I am open about my stance on this, and I did explain this to you in DMs last week, and you seemed amicable, at the very least, in the discussion. Thank you for your pleasant conversation. Moving down here, Remnant would say, you did clarify that, and I appreciate it. That is why I said, quote, Straub and Rev's history, unquote, especially since people have been walking away with the wrong impression of where I stand by on all this. I needed to clarify this.
Why does it matter? Why do you need to defend yourself? That wasn't the conversation. That's so stupid. Like, what he should have said is that it doesn't matter. Like, this was, like, that wasn't the discussion that we went through. Like, he doesn't even have to address it.
To them. I also never said defending. However, you do understand that for the most part, Rev is still currently known for / connected to the lolly stuff, right? This was a common knowledge to seemingly everyone but me, which I don't believe, by the way, since I didn't watch his stuff, and now I was being tied into this by many people. I will try to be transparent and clear as if this were in DMs. This stuff...
Look, I like Akko. They're very sweet. They're very, informative, but, like, make your model a little smaller. Put yourself in the corner. Like, look what I do. I'm in the corner. I'm not blocking anything.
Doesn't just go away. I posted our conversation because it was fruitful, in my opinion.
They're never gonna watch this.
Because I didn't say anything, many people were left confused and with a terrible impression of where I stood on all of this. Darling Straub would continue by saying, Rev has been clear that
you're not wrong.
The same way
you're not. I know you're saying Booba sells. You're not wrong, but at the same time, it's like, come on. Like, I came here for, like, facts and the information. I didn't come here to look at tits. I have other places for that.
Side note, I think that this line right here, that she is speaking for Rev, is where a lot of problems for them spawn.
Yeah, that's where a lot of this happens. Because, like, she's... Rev had to come in and start, like, clarifying things and shit.
And the crash out on Twitter is probably an impetus for.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to this, she says, you can see that even in one of your comments on the community post, I believe, someone mentioned how it came up in his last live stream and he clarified his position. As Christians, we shouldn't defend porn in any form. And we don't. And maybe you didn't say defend, I understand. But some people are taking it in that way, and even though you said our past, I think it would be helpful to clarify what I currently believe.
The way that he said past kind of imply, like, it just very much just, like, implies that, like, oh, you defend Loli, that means you bad, period. Like, that is the unmentionable past and all that. It's just subtle writing.
Necessarily needing to share DMs specifically, but I would have no issue with you making it clear that I feel the same way I do. And so...
Also, hello, good sir. We're talking about drama, VTuber drama. Welcome. I'm here to woo until I get sir. Good.
I do understand wanting to clarify your position on this, but I do wish you would make our stances more clear so people don't think either me nor Rev think Lolicon is good. Now, notwithstanding that if you scroll up to the original post here, Remnant makes it kind of apparent, or he kind of gives you the impression that he really didn't know of anything that was going on, nor did he know that Rev and Straub previously had these ties. However, if you read the post from Straub, and in my personal opinion, I just don't believe he doesn't know this knowledge, it gives the impression that they had some kind of talk in the...
Yeah, that's definitely also true, too. Like, but prior to the... Again, like, why did they bring it up? Because, like, the whole thing was they were talking about body count, and apparently they're implying, or Straub's implying here, that they did talk about lolis at some point. Or lolicon, and, like, whether or not it good or bad.
Past about this kind of stuff, and where her stance on it is in general. It kind of makes, in my personal opinion, Remnant look bad because it sounds like he just walked into a blind conversation without any idea of what was going to happen or what was going on. Now, this video isn't about Remnant, However, I do find that kind of scummy, and it feels like, at the very least, that he's lying to his audience about what he knew, and instead should have just said, I had this conversation, I understand where their past is, but guess what? It was a good conversation, so I don't care. And at the end of the day, he shouldn't care, and neither should the audience. If it's a good conversation, who cares?
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Like if it doesn't relate to the conversation and they're just having a talk, who cares?
Well,
a lot of
it
build
seems
up.
like he did. And it seems like, unfortunately, Darling Straub decided to take this conversation, a conversation that could have ended there, and decided to walk over to Twitter. We'll jump over now to Twitter, where she decided to continue speaking. Something that, in my personal opinion, should, again, not have been done. On this April 9th tweet, she would say, quote, if you are a good Christian, you should be condemning all types of porn. None of it is good. If it is porn, it is degenerate and bad for your soul. I'm surprised some people are confused by this. Now, there was a lot of conversation under this tweet. It has almost 700,000 impressions and 400 responses, as well as, I'm sure, plenty of quote retweets. However, this individual in specific that I wanted to bring up asks, Lolly isn't porn. Do you think that Lolly is porn? Are you an actual pedophile? Straub would reply by saying, not all Lolly is porn. No. But if it is porn, then yes, it's bad. That's not me calling someone a literal pedophile. That's me saying it's degenerate and immoral.
Again, it's that wordage.
Another reply from this tweet by the account Katie would say, just a genuine question, because I think most people are curious or maybe confused about your stance. Do you believe porn should be
We're confused. I made my stance. Yeah, wait. Okay, let me just go through this a little quicker. Keep the same bad or immoral. Only asking because your main fan base are Lolicon. I think it's penitent for you to clarify. Lolicon's weird. Again, that's another thing we should kind of preface. Is that Lolicon's kind of a weird word because it also kind of just can stand for somebody who likes lolis. It doesn't even have to be related to sex at all. It can just be you like lolis. It could just be you like the loli aesthetic. Don't get how people are confused. I have made my stance. It feels very clear. Just read my other replies. I don't owe anyone any more of an explanation. That's not my main fan. Is not sure where you get that idea. I mean, Straub, your motto is a loli. So people who like it, who think you're cute, are by extension lolicons. Oh gosh, he just keeps digging it deeper and deeper. That hole. Okay, we already saw Reb's little clarification, which I think this is probably one of the first proper genuine and also not unhinged remarks. Okay, we already saw this too, I believe. Yeah, and it's kind of basically what he said. Again, it's just that whole my problem is the verbiage or the wordage of calling it degenerate and everything. But I guess it is technically correct. Necessary when your stance hasn't actually changed. You still believe loli content should be censored, then it's just weird. It's just I can see why people are confused and why some people are just not having it or either refusing to understand or they can't understand it. Maybe it's because I was raised Catholic and I can understand it a bit more with more nuance, but I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm the weird one, and everyone else is seeing it more clearly than I am. I don't know. Pedophiles. I wrote an upcoming book chapter censorship, hentai, and lolicon. Liking lolicon doesn't mean someone is pedophilic. It doesn't always reflect IRL. The best. So she's kind of just spazzing here. Basically saying yeah, I mean she did kind of drop the ball. And again, if you go off of Remnant's replies, it sounds like it implies that that she is kind of agreeing with him, and that's not the stance to take, because again, Remnant didn't give any nuance or clarification. He just said, I condemn it entirely, which kind of sounds like you don't like you'd probably be for censorship of it, which I mean is like an opinion you can have, but it's not what people. It's probably not the opinion you should have, you know.
And for forward, him and Straub probably need to stop. Try to endlessly clarify.
All right, let's hear Akko's like final say on this, like their 2 cents.
Her position stuff. I am not trying to be mean when I say this. Let me talk at the very end.
Oh, there it is.
But that's just talk at the very end here about my opinions on the subject.
Let me see if Akko is correct in agreeing with me. I'm kidding.
What is actually wrong with everything that has taken place here? Well, to begin with, Remnant, again, did lie, at the very least, or obfuscate that he knew the full extent, or even knew in general, what was going on with Rev
my
and
opinion is like I don't give a fuck what Remnant
past. That's something that, in my personal opinion, leaves the door open for not even responding, or just saying, you lied, let's move on. Straub, in my personal opinion, needs to stop responding to a lot of this kind of stuff. I am not trying to be mean when I say this here, but Straub has a horrible habit of seeing what people say on the internet, taking it way too personally to heart, and trying to respond to everyone in an attempt to endlessly spiral and try to endlessly clarify her position on things.
This isn't the first time this has happened, by the way. I've seen, like, I think the first time I started following Straub, it was kind of out of pity. I know this sounds awful, but, like, I basically became aware of her because, like, she was getting, like, I don't even remember what the controversy was. It might have been also of her, like, being pro or anti-censorship and all that, and people were attacking her for it. Like, I don't even know. It might have been that. It might have been something else. But she was, like, spazzing out. She was spiraling. She was throwing herself into, like, a tizzy emotionally. She's not good at handling accusations like this. No matter what side they're coming on. And technically, to an extent, this is coming from our side, quote unquote. You know, the people who like are anti-censorship and, you know, pro lolicon and all that. So it's a little. Sorry, I have chocolate. I can't speak properly. It's a little disconcerting seeing, like, I mean, like, you know, there's bad actors on all sides, right? On all sides of the political spectrum. Like, that's just how it is. I don't think that your group is, like, you know, the holier than thou. You know, you gotta be willing to call your guys when they're being fucking assholes. You gotta call them out. But the point is, like, I agree with what Akko's saying here. It's just like, she needs to shut the fuck up. Just shut up. You're just burying yourself even deeper with every comment. And she let herself get set off by Remnant's talking points at the very beginning. Was she, like, technically correct? Yes. However, she took it way too personally, and she kind of felt this need to, like, I don't condone lolicon, I'm not into that, and, like, no one's saying you are. Just say you're anti-censorship, which you are, and I believe that you are. Like, I'm taking your word for your, I'm taking you for your word. You are anti-censorship. Just say you're that, and leave it there. Just shut up. But I don't know. I guess this is the kind of person she is. You know, some people, look, like, let's be honest, some people are not really built for fame, and Straub is fairly famous. She's not, like, you know, movie star famous, but she's a pretty popular VTuber. And I don't think she has the fortitude and constitution to really engage with, like, the more hectic parts of being in that position. Like, if this is the day-to-day and she's just having fun and, like, doing a stream or ASMR, her Bible readings or whatever the hell she does, sure, whatever, she's doing fine. But when shit hits the fan, she panics, and I feel for her, but at the same time, I guess this is like a big brother instinct of me. Like, I'm, like, tearing at my ears, and I'm just like, shut up. It's, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know Straw personally, but, like, she reminds me of a lot of, like, she reminds me a little bit of my little sister. Other people that I've known who give off little sister vibes. So I feel like this like natural protection to her, but at the same time, it's like you're being a fucking idiot. And I mean, Akko said she didn't want to be mean. I guess I was very mean just now. Sorry, Straub. It's for your own good. Tough love and all that. She's never gonna watch this or see this, but like if she, on the off chance she does, I do mean it from a good place. Whether you believe that or not, that's like on you. But I am being honest when I say like I mean it in the best possible way. I'm just really crass and blunt. Anyway, she started drama in Mizu's Discord. Did she do that with Straub? And wait, you're talking about Straub, right? Boy, never. Me, never. I told you guys I am an asshole, and I do mean it. People yapping unnecessary on Twitter, no way. Unfortunately, this technically started on YouTube comments, but you know, it spread to Twitter.
When instead of
that's how you know it's serious.
To endlessly spiral and correct yourself, all you need to do is say, I don't participate in that content anymore. I don't think it should be censored. I want to go to Christ.
It was a while ago. Again, I think I don't know what she said, and I can't speak for whatever happened back then. TOA. I will take your word for it. I would hope that she is more regrets that, and also it's just like is more mature from that, and also she's very religious, and I don't have problem with people being religious, and I am particularly protective of Christians because they are like the world's punching bag in regards to religion. So I feel that natural protectiveness towards her, but at the same time, people are individuals. If people do something fucking retarded, I hope at the very least she apologized afterwards, and I hope she wouldn't do it again. I don't know what happened, but I can't really speak for it. That's all I can really say. Oh, drama, don't worry about it. Ask me about it if you want. I might, but I don't know. It might be a little too old to bring up with him. We'll see. Religion persecutes every other religion, or most of them. Yeah, that is true. But the problem is that when I'm talking about religious persecution, I'm not talking about religion versus other religion. I'm talking about everyone versus every religion. Like it is the common Western talking point to shit on Christianity in particular. And it depends on what circles you're on. But like a person who would like say all Christians are bad and yada yada, if you ask them, would you say the same thing about like a Jewish person or a Muslim? They would like they would like clam up like that. And I know this because I spoke to somebody. I spoke to an atheist. I used to consider this person a friend, and they told me verbatim they consider all religion a scam. And I thought about it for a second, and like, would you tell that to a Muslim person? And then they immediately clamped down, and they're like, they didn't have an answer for me. They couldn't give me an answer. But that was like plenty proof of what I said. Like I said, it's in the West. It is ethically and morally okay and just to criticize Christianity, and by all means, please criticize Christians, criticize everybody. But that's my problem. Criticize everybody. If somebody does something bad, call them out on it. It's just like there's like this unspoken rule of like there are certain groups you're not allowed to question or call out, or even if they're doing something like objectively wrong. That's my problem. Like if you don't like Christians, fine, I don't care. but my question again, my follow-up question would be, what is your opinion on Jewish people? What is your opinion on Muslims? And literally any other religion. It doesn't even have to be the other Abrahamic faiths, because it's usually a case of like only this one is bad because I was told that it was bad, and I ignore all the other stuff. Pretty much. I think she apologized. That's good. I'm glad she did. Again, she seems like a very sporadic person, and just kind of, like I said, like I don't know if it was because of her faith or whatever reason, but like I think she just needs to fucking chill And I don't want to tell her like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be a VTuber anymore. Maybe you should get offline, because like I think she likes to be, excuse me, I think she enjoys being a VTuber. I think she genuinely finds enjoyment in it. So I don't want to tell her, hey, don't do this anymore. But if this keeps happening, maybe you should consider that this isn't for you. But, and again, I say that from like a genuine position of, I like to think kindness and care, because if this is gonna keep happening, if you're gonna keep acting up because you're constantly in the spotlight, then maybe you can't handle it. I mean, it's fine if you can, but you know, you need to be willing to like, you know, have that conversation with yourself. But yeah, that's just me. This is me giving my 2 cents. Christianity, biggest religion in the West. You probably don't want to criticize minority religions in the West. Yeah, that's the thing, but like, Christianity is like one of the slowest growing religions. Like Islam is like the fastest growing, like, period. There's more is blah blah blah. But the point is, like, it doesn't matter if it's big or small. Like, it shouldn't matter that it shouldn't matter how big something is for you to like be willing to like call it out if it's doing something bad. Because again, like, if like, I will tell you, if Christians are doing something bad, call it out. But the problem is, like, nobody wants to call out the other bad stuff from other faith. Like, it's not even like has to do like with faith, period. Like, it's minority groups in general, you know. Like, I'm Mexican, Hispanic, but if I bring up like crime statistics revolving around Hispanics and Mexicans, I'm the problem. And I don't know, maybe there is something wrong with my nationality. Maybe I'm willing to acknowledge the problems within my ethnic group and within my faith. Again, I'm not even particularly religious. But the point is, like, I'm willing to call out people who, like, are on my quote-unquote side. Are you willing to do the same? That's my issue, you know? If you're in an argument online, take a moment, take a breathe, or touch grass. Or maybe don't even get into the argument in the first place. But yeah, we have to finish up this, like, little thing here. They're the most aware Christians doing stuff when they don't like because of more exposure. I mean, that's also a problem with like media, because like if a Christian priest does something bad, it makes national news. If a what are they called? Imam? If a Muslim imam does something bad, it'll be lucky to make local news, because a lot of people are just like scared to cover it because they don't want to be seen as racist or bigoted or anything like that. Again, there's justified targets. Like, there's targets you're allowed to talk about and criticize and everything, but don't talk about these people though, even when they do something objectively bad.
But unfortunately, that is not what.
Nah, certain media will make a big fuss of that too. Yeah, certain media, but the vast majority of them will not even touch that. They'll completely ignore it, or yeah, they'll just completely ignore it. Like, I'm not gonna say all media is gonna ignore it, but the vast majority of it. That's why you should follow our sponsor for today's video, Ground News.
Is taken down.
Unironically, kind of though. Actually,
what Straub and maybe Rev don't understand is doing what Straub did. She is engaging in conversation that a lot of people would seem as talking down to or ladder pulling behavior, where they get famous off of having this kind of content, feel bad for it, and turn to Christ. And then after...
Wait.
But unfortunately, that is not what is taken down. I think what Straub and maybe Rev don't understand is doing what Straub did. She is engaging in conversation that a lot of people would seem as talking down to or ladder pulling behavior, where they get famous off of having this kind of content, feel bad for it, and turn to Christ, and then afterwards try to be a bit of a moral fiend over everybody that still tries to consume this content. I'm not necessarily saying that is what Rev and Straub think. Far from it. And in fact, I think all they want is for people to come to Christ. However, the problem that I have with this in general is, again, say once what you believe. I'm a believer in Christ. I think that pornography is degenerate, and I think people should turn to Christ. But I am not going to try and force other people to turn to Christ. That should have been said, in my personal opinion, only once when they decided that they were going to go back to church and become more centered in on Christ. And it should not have needed to be.
That's a really good point. Instead of like arguing on the internet, they should have just gone back to the church or their Bibles or whatever, and focus on what they say that their life is primarily focused on. To an extent, they're being a bit what's the word? I want to say like they're being hypocritical or anything like that, but like they say Christianity and Christ is like their primary focus, but as of right now, it seems like their primary focus is Twitter and drama and things like that, which is, I don't think that's what a holy man and woman would do. Just saying.
Said again. At the very least, if you want to...
Alright, that's not relevant. Like, I'm not going to be on jury for every crime out there. I mean, that's fair. I mean, we can't be on jury for every crime out there. However, I will point out the ones that I think are funny and interesting.
Verify. You should link back to that tweet.
That's what we're doing today.
Is something that was...
And oh my god, we're like almost 2 hours in.
Said. Not endlessly.
And we've only talked about one subject that wasn't even on the itinerary, TOA.
To everyone that is asking you questions. Because at the end of the day, all that serves to do is give people like me, or Rev previously, ammunition to laugh at your situation on the internet when you try and moral fiend to other people that you previously were engaging in. The other problem I
don't know if we have time.
Is, yes, Rev and
no.
Strub are a married couple. So for the most part, you should
it's okay, dude. I'm just teasing
Rev
you.
and Strub are co-partners.
This is very interesting, so I am actually kind of glad that you brought this to my attention, because I would not have heard about this from my sources, because like Rev probably didn't want to talk about it, and he's one of my sources. As far as I'm aware, Hero High didn't bring it up. Actually, none of my sources ever talked about this, and I have been off Twitter for a while. I haven't looked at Twitter in like a week, so I did not know about this at all. So like, thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Partners and share very similar opinions. However, I don't think that Straub should be trying to speak on behalf of Rev when he is not only the king, or at least former king, of the Lolicon opinions and takes, but she needs to be more careful so that Rev doesn't have to come out and say this, and then say this on her behalf. I am sure that it's not an easy conversation to say, yeah, I kind of said this on behalf of you.
Probably
you kind of have to go fix it now.
Talk about that later.
Now, at the end of the day, I do want to clarify. As a Christian myself, I think that it is more than all right to say that you have changed your stances on a lot of things. It seems that Rev and Straub have had quite the moment in the dark where they pray for forgiveness and relief. I'm not really too interested in learning that journey, but I do feel that it is a beautiful journey, that both of them feel like they can move on and enjoy their lives without having to engage in certain things. I know a lot of people will definitely be upset when Rev says that he is not really planning to cover or really even defend this kind of content in the future. I guess if that's the case, somebody else can pick up the mantle of being the king of the lollies and defending it to everybody as a general. However,
I feel like
think that if that's something he wants to do,
just saying.
He should be allowed to do it. And people should respect him for wanting to move on in the first place.
Okay, I will have to say that I only really started following Rev like the past year or so. And I do know he has in the past like defended like lowly content creators. Not specifically lolicon, you know, like porn of lolis. So I don't know. From what I'm hearing Akko say here, and again, I'm just taking their word for it. I don't know if this is true or not. I might be wrong. They might be wrong. We're all fucking liars at the end of the day. Let's be real. But going from what Akko's saying, it sounds like Rev directly defended lolicon, ergo pornography of loli characters. If that's the case, he is kind of doing a 180 here where he's saying that no, it's degenerate, I can't defend it anymore, yada yada. However, he does defend people's rights to consume it. Your likes are public. He had the Your Likes Are Public series. I guess that's true. Yeah. I think I heard of that series, and yeah, like it is kind of the same thing. And I think these, I don't think that these ideas could necessarily have to be mutual of each other. Like I think, like I said, you can not like something and still defend its existence and all that. But the way it's kind of being worded kind of sounds like he consumed it in the past as well, and very much like not only defended it but also like reveled in it, which I mean which is a completely different thing. And like he did say that he, like in this quote, I believe in this post exactly, he did specifically say how he has become more religious in the past year. So maybe that's the case. Yeah, like he doesn't consume maybe this time last year he was consuming lolicon and he loved it. He was jerking off to those little anime girls, which is fine. Again, like I feel like I don't know why. I feel like I have to keep saying that, which is really stupid. But since then, he's kind of like just sworn off porn entirely, which again is his choice. He can do what he wants. It's just like, again, the verbiage as well as like he is basically admitting, again, if he was a participant of lolicon in the past, he's just openly admitting that, yeah, I'm not for it anymore. But he still supports people's right to consume it if they want to, which is the correct opinion to have, in my opinion. You know, it's whatever. I don't know. I feel like this was, like he said, it happened like a year ago for him, but it was also kind of like forced to come to a hand because of this conversation, the debate / interview that Straub had with Remnant, and how Straub kind of dragged Rev into this when they were kind of just chugging along. Like Revko's still being like the hot take guy he was, still technically defending Loli and Lolicons and Loli enjoyers, but also, you know, not really being part of them anymore, which I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But I can see why people are kind of taking it harshly and are not really, and are kind of feeling like betrayed. And like Akko said, like he's kind of doing like a 180 where he took like this reputation of his to get to the top and then pulled the ladder up behind him. I don't think Rev did this maliciously. It's just that I can see why people don't like it, and I can see why a lot of people feel betrayed. Are they blowing it out of proportion? I also think that yes, they are. Like, it just shouldn't be that big of a deal in my opinion, but like but people are blowing out of proportion. To be fair, Straub blew out of proportion to begin with. I think it's one of those situations where everyone's being an asshole in this situation, at least a little bit. And again, like I'm not gonna say like Straub and Rev are like complete fucking assholes or anything. It's just like they've been kind of pushed into a corner and they're kind of being forced to like openly state things that were not needed to be said in the past. And I don't know, not that they were hiding it, but also that, I don't know, maybe it could have come out better, I guess is the best way to put it. You know, it's I guess an analogy would be like coming out of the closet or something, like gay. Like, instead of me coming out of the closet, I'm gay. Oh, I'm Christian. I mean, we knew they were Christian, but you know what I mean. This is a bad way of going about it, and I don't think they wanted this, is what I'm trying to say. The Loli King, the King is Rio. Am I the Loli King? Can I be the Loli King? I would like to be the Loli King. Been years since I watched Red, but I don't remember him doing explicitly lolicon content. Yeah, like I said, like I don't know. I understand, so I can't really like speak to like how he was in the past. I'm just stating from what I know and what I'm seeing right now in front of me. So it's, yeah, that's all I can really give you guys. Guess he used a Love Live profile. He's a Love Live. I mean, his character is based on Nico Ni. Yeah, his character is based on this character. It's pretty fucking obvious that Rev, like, let's like pull him up. Like, see, it's pretty much the same fucking character, just with glasses. And depending on how he's feeling, it's also a boy. But yeah, so he still... Look, here's what I think. Glasses and Goth. Yeah, basically. It's basically the same character, just Glasses and Goth. That's not a bad way to put it. Here's what I think that... This is why... This is what I was talking about, where like, it is a loli. Yeah, Nico Ni is a loli. This is a loli character, and I think he likes loli characters. But like, these can be mutually exclusive. Like he said, he's just against lolicon, which is pornography. But just finding this character cute does not make you a loli. Doesn't mean you like lolicon. It just means you like loli characters and you find them cute. That's fine. You can be both. You can be like, I don't like porn, but I also like these but I also like these characters. Like let's give like a equal example. Just because you like dogs doesn't mean you like bestiality, okay? Like they are mutually exclusive. You can like one without liking the other, okay? It doesn't mean the same thing. So just because he likes this character, just because he likes the little girl character, doesn't mean he wants to see her naked or getting railed by a 20-inch dildo, okay? They can be mutually exclusive. So I don't think he's like being the clear example. Hey, you might as well go all the way. Let's use the ultimate example, right? So there's no confusion here. What was I saying? What the fuck was I talking? I just can't stop. With that example, yeah. Oh fuck, what was I saying? He can be both. He can be both. That's fine. It's just that he's not like the lowly king anymore. I guess like that's like the big shock that people are like trying to like come to terms with. That he's not on your side, quote unquote, anymore. And like that's fine. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's betraying anybody. It's just that he's coming to terms with like his faith and saying that, you know what, I can't consume porn, period. But again, remember that saying, just because I disagree with what you say doesn't mean I will not defend your right to say it. Just because he doesn't consume porn doesn't mean he's not going to defend your right to consume it. And I think that's what people should take away from that. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's done anything necessarily wrong. I think this was just like a big fucking drama mix-up because, again, his wife kind of just panicked and dragged everyone into it, and it just turned into a mess, unfortunately. Again, the big takeaway that I have is that Straub might need to take a break. Needs to reevaluate how she processes criticism. And I'm not gonna say Rev needs to handle his woman better. That's probably not the correct way to say it, but like, I think they need to have a talk where it's like, if you need, like, if I was Rev in this situation, like, say I'm Rev and I'm talking to Straub, if you need me for something public, wait until I'm available. Don't do anything hasty unless we can talk about it. And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair conversation. They're probably already having this conversation in like behind the scenes without us there. And I hope they are, because they kind of need to be. But that aside, wait, Straub is his wife? Yeah, Straub and Rev are married, husband and wife. That was the final option. It was the only option. It was the only possible thing. Supported cause. I didn't know. Yeah, like that's why like he was like that was a big like takeaway. Like I don't think Rev panicked, but at the same time like he was very clearly like exasperated and annoyed and being a bit hostile too. Again, going back to the example that I forgot the name of the person you pointed me to, TOA. But the acquaintance of Mizu and Akko, and why he was being kind of like confrontational and even borderline rude with him. Yeah, Esperito. Yes. Because like I imagine this whole situation was just really, really fucking annoying, and it really didn't need to. I'm probably in the similar mindset as Rav. Is like, this didn't need to blow up like it did. But it did anyway, so we have to kind of deal with it now. And I imagine he's very... This is kind of already blown over. This was like yesterday. But I imagine he was very like, not upset, but, you know, exasperated during the time. And also, like I said, he and Straub have probably had some conversations in the background of like how they need to handle this better. Like this needs to stop happening. Yada 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 yada. Anyway, so to stop responding emotionally all the time. Yeah, like that's that's the quick and easy way of saying it. Like, again, I would like to think like as as husband and wife, they can do this a bit more kindly with each other and be a bit more emotionally available. Because like, yes, this straw fuck up, yes, but at the same time, you don't respond to somebody who's panicking by yelling and mean to them or anything like that. Like, imagine, or at least I would like to hope that, you know, if Reb was confrontational regarding this issue with his wife, I hope he did so, you know, with patience and love and you know, like, you know, empathy. You know, we want to talk this out. We want to make sure this doesn't happen again. Like, it doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean you're a mistake or anything like that. But like, we need to, like, you know, work on this. You know, it's a relationship. You know, like, that's how it be. Especially if it's like a public relationship. Like, you know, everybody, well, most everybody. X4R2 is kind of like proving me wrong about that. But you know, whatever. The point is, most people know that they're a couple, and you know, if they have a bit of a spat or a explosion going on, everybody fucking knows. Communication, yeah, basically. I mean, to be fair, again, according to the story, Reb was streaming at the time, but at the same time, it's like, if you're panicking and you're gonna like drop a bombshell that can ruin, you know, our online, because like this is their job, by the way, like being online personalities is their job. As far as I'm aware, they don't have like any IRL real jobs, quote unquote. So if she's gonna like blow up, they probably should have a conversation about it first, you know, at the very least, you know. So yeah, that's just basically, but yeah, that's like my final take of it. I don't think they're bad people. I think they're kind of going through a process with their faith and everything. Straub could have worded it better. Straub could have waited a little bit longer. At least wait till Reb was off his stream before they could like talk about it. And I can understand Rev's like, Rev could also have done it better. Could have done better in parts, but at the same time, I understand his frustration. I don't think they're like against us or anything, or they're antis now. I just think that it's just from their point of view, from their faith, they can't really consume this sort of thing anymore. And Rev has to relinquish his title as the lowly con king. I nominate Chibi Reviews as the new king. If my say has any word in it, or me, I should be the lowly con king. Either or. Anyway. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it. It seems like I'm also like primarily in agreement with Akko on this as well, which is good. I'm glad like we're like-minded on this sort of stuff, which again, I like Akko, so I'm glad we're not in disagreement, because then I would have to destroy them. That's how that works, right? Yeah, okay. Anyway, anyway, that's that. I think that's good enough to go over that nonsense. God, VTubers, they're fucking awful. I hate them. Why do we keep talking about them? I found the old drama tweet thread with Mizu and Rev. I can put it in suggestion if you want to read it later off stream. DM it to me. I don't think that's like, I don't know. Is it like a PNG? Actually, yeah, you send it in the suggestions if you want. You can put in the suggestions. But either way, either way's fine. Don't hate yourself. But I fucking hate VTubers. Except for me, I'm the only good VTuber. I'm kidding, obviously. They're just exhausting sometimes, you know. They're like puppies, you know. They can be really cute and enduring, but every now and again they piss all over the place, and then, you know, you're kind of done with them for the evening. And I'm kind of done with them right now, honestly. Let's talk about something else. What? I don't. Oh my god, we spent like 2 hours on that one subject, and I didn't even finish my chocolate. Completely unbiased. Yes, exactly, completely. Lolly King is. Whoever finds the 6 infinity tags will be crowned the new Lolly King. I'll find them. I can already think of them. One is Lolicon. One of them is Opie Loli. One of them is Pissing. I'll find the other 3. I'll find them. Also, why 6? Isn't it supposed to be? Oh yeah, the gauntlet has 6 stones. You're right. You're right. What? Well, you talk. Look. We all know that Lolicon and Piss kind of go hand in hand. You know, people like their apple juice. Anyway, whatever. Let's talk about bad movies. Yeah, let's talk about bad movies. Okay, we're gonna talk about a bad movie, then we're gonna talk about an amazing movie, actually. Yeah, let's talk about this recent drama regarding we're gonna use Rev as a look. Again, I still like Rev. I don't think he's a bad person, and I'm still gonna use him as a source, and I think he is a good source, and he's still like quote unquote on our side and all that. So like he's a good guy. Like,
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here.
I don't hate him. I don't think he's a bad person. I just think he and his wife had a little bit of a drama bomb. And, you know, I hope they come out of it. It's fine. They're not bad people. They just had a bad situation.
So
That's it. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Shut up. Everyone stop talking about it.
Going to be a bit of a follow-up to something I covered a few days
Tiny
ago,
Jews.
where we had this very interesting collision of parties, including Hollywood, multiple franchises, and you on the author of...
Okay, so God, how much of this do I want to like talk about? I've been talking forever. Let him
Project
talk.
Hail Mary, Andy Weir, who's being called out not only by activists on social media for his
by the way, I'm home alone, so
views,
I'm probably louder than usual.
But also we're looking at the continued cancellation of
guys,
him
my
because of his
parents aren't home.
association
Come over.
with YouTuber Critical Drinker, who's being attacked on multiple fronts here by soy boy YouTubers trying to call him a chud that is cancer to work with. But also he's getting canceled from authors like this on your screen right now, who are trying to basically stab him in the back after having...
Okay, District Caller author. Oh yeah, this is fucking weird. He was in like this book from like 7 years ago, like maybe like a decade ago. And now they want to remove him because Critical Drinker is too fucking base recently and talking about like all the bad things going on in Hollywood. So that's the beginning of it. But basically, all of this started out because of an interview. I'm just gonna like give you the spark notes. He did like a an interview. He sat down with the author Andy Weir. I think it's the original. Yeah, Andy Weir, like the original. Was it the author or was it the screenwriter? I can't remember.
Also angry about his recent collaboration with Critical Drinker, where people from...
Or it's friends with the Critical Drinker. Okay, yeah, it was Andy Weir. Okay, the offer. Okay, good. Okay, I was making sure I got it correctly. But yeah, they were just talking about like what was going on with like they were just talking about modern movies and like what they like and dislike about it, and how they were they were talking about it like this recent movie Hail Mary, which we're gonna talk about Hail Mary. Like that's gonna be like the one real spot of good news. We're gonna talk about why is Project Hail Mary so fucking good. And it's gonna lead into, but before that, like Drinker is like, he got buddy with the author, and everyone's like mad at him, and that's why like a lot of people are like, you know, the usual suspects are mad at the movie because like a problematic YouTuber promotes it, likes it, talks to the author about it, and they're buddy, and they both agree that about like the similar problems that are wrong with modern media. And so they're all trying to like gang up and like try to call him problematic and all that. By the way, I need to read that fucking book. It's really fucking good. I watched it like the other day. I loved it. It is my movie of the year. Like I highly doubt anything will top it at this point because it was so fucking good. I love Project Hail Mary. If you haven't seen it in theaters, go do it. You won't regret it. It was fantastic. Also, I went to like a really good theater for it, so like I had like a burger while watching it, so really good experience altogether. The author, one of the uses generative AI is against real World commentary, politics. Okay, so like that's a little awkward. I would prefer if you use AI only for like references, and then eventually hire like a proper artist. But this is the thing like that I'm most interested in, is like how he is against like politics and in media, and there is a little bit of like dissection I want to do with that specifically. Oh, for the book cover. No. I think it's like for like certain like stills, not the cover. I think the cover itself was like was drawn, but I think like for like certain stills, like talking about like throughout the movie. Also, I don't even know what this is from.
Misunderstand Star Trek, according to people like this on social media. The rest of the quote, and
put no politics, social commentary into my stories at all. Anyone who thinks they will see anything like that and reading it on their own, I have no point to make, and I'm not trying to affect the reader's opinion of anything. My sole job is to entertain, and I'm sticking to that. Yep, that's the quote that they hate about. Yep, because like that's why the movie's so good, because it's not trying to sell you a political message. It's trying. Look, here's how I was kind of taught it. There's a difference between political messaging and philosophical messaging. And like that's not to say that there can't be political messaging. There can be good media that is political. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know there's some satirical pieces. Satirical pieces can be really good, and they can be really good. They can be entertaining, and they can also have a political message behind them. Like that's the thing about art. Like everyone, like that's like that common say is like all art is political. Okay, first of all, that's not true. Like you can have art that's not political. You can have something that just purely is for fun. But the point is, like, art is at its core, it is a medium. It is a vehicle for your idea. What is your idea? Well, that's entirely based on you, the artist. Like, do you just want to tell a story about high school teenagers hooking up and then getting killed by a monster? Is there anything political about that? Probably not. But they can still be fun and enjoyable. Can you tell a story about political messaging of how my favorite satirical piece is Springtime with Hitler. I love that movie because it was written by Jewish authors who wanted to point out how people are gonna get so offended by talking about like the atrocities of World War II and the Holocaust that they're just gonna completely ignore it and risk discussions and talks of it in the future, and then repeat the same mistake all over again. That's why I love that particular satirical piece. But like that was the point. But also it was a funny musical about Hitler going around and like running through fields of daisies and being like gay and happy and doing stupid shit like that. Like that was the point. It was silly and dumb. But that was like entirely it. The point is like offer intention. Do you want politics to be in your story or not? However, at the same time, politics run and like we can probably go into it with this book. That's a great image, but this is AI obviously, but it's like really funny fucking cover piece. You can write, so why he used Gen AI for writing? Oh no, he didn't do AI for the writing. I think he just does AI for like reference art, as far as I'm aware. I don't know exactly what he does use AI for. I assume it's just like for reference arts. So he's like, okay, so I need an idea for like what this character is gonna look like, so he uses AI to give him like a rough draft of like, oh, okay, so they have dark skin, brown hair, blah 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 blah. You know, that kind of thing. Charlie Chaplin, the Great Dictator. Is that I should watch that. I need to watch more Charlie Chaplin, like in general. I haven't really done it. Snyder's List. Yeah, again, like there are good political commentary movies and art pieces. The problem is when you insist that everything needs to be political. You can't have something simply because it's fun or interesting or because you want to tell. And like I said, the difference between a political piece and a philosophical piece. And the perfect example is Lord of the Rings. And I guess we're not even going to watch this video because they kind of go into it here. Is the reason why Lord of the Rings is still beloved and talked about to this day, a book that was written in the 40s and 50s, it's because it doesn't talk about politics. It talks about philosophy, philosophical and humanistic truths, courage, loyalty, family, brotherhood, friendship, indomitable spirit, the indomitable human spirit, unity against crises. All of these are universal messages that humanity as a whole can wholly understand and realize that are intrinsical to like our very being as thinking, feeling creatures. Also, TOA, I missed your redeem. I'm sorry. Here you go. Mwah. Thank you for the redeem. Hope you're doing. Thank you for being here. But yes, but that's why that's such like a beloved and a beloved and consistently retold story, because it speaks to the human nature rather than simply talking about politics. Now imagine, okay, so Lord of the Rings came out in the 40s and 30s. Though, like, people often talk about like how the Great Wars were a big inspiration for Tolkien and why he wrote those books. And they are like Tolkien fought in World War One, and he also was there. He witnessed the horrors of World War Two. He didn't fight in it, at least as far as I'm aware. But he was keenly aware of young men going off to die again for another horrific bloody war, and he probably shook his head at that the same way he despised the First World War. I know there's like a lot of like mixed signals where he says like, no, they wasn't inspired by the war, but like it's pretty obvious he was inspired by the wars. But here's the difference: he didn't like make the story and then like, Mordor and Sauron, or an analogy for Hitler and the Nazis or anything like that. No, Sauron and Mordor and orcs are analogous to humanity at their lowest and worst. Monstrous and terrible. That's what they are. That is the monster that is inside of us, all of us, that we're all capable of becoming. We're all capable of becoming terrible, awful things like orcs, like the forces of darkness, like a Sauron. That is within that seed of hate is buried within each and every one of us. The hope is that you will not give into it. It's a warning to not give into your base vices that would lead you to become something like that. That is a humanist and a long-standing message that anyone can believe in. He could have just made it a story as like a analogy of like the dangers of fascism. He could have just done that, and it probably people would still talk about today and like it and whatever. Like, but I don't think it would hit as hard because evil takes many different forms and shape. It's not just fascism. It takes the shape of communism. It takes the place of like serial killers, murderers, rapists, cannibals, whatever bad thing that people do. That is Sauron. That is evil. The point is that we're all capable of becoming that. The monster is the monster is inside of all of us, and we need to fight it every day with good things. Again, hope, friendship, love, all that. And that's why the story is so enduring and beloved, even all these years later. And it can be applied to so many different things. You can say Sauron represents this or that, but in reality, not really. It just represents evil, and how we should choose not to be like that. We should be like Frodo. We should be like Aragorn. We should be like the Fellowship, to rise above and stand and speak up against evil, rather than simply saying, oh, this is the evil thing I don't like. That's the point. It's a humanist message. And that's why that's the difference between philosophical and philosophical messaging and political messaging. Philosophical is way better in terms of like long-ended and long-lasting messages. It will resonate with more people, and the message will be preserved and loved for far longer. while still kind of giving you the same results, you know, which is ultimately, you know, people doing good. Also, I22JK, I'm sorry I missed you. Welcome on the side of YouTube side of things. Oh wait, but yeah, like that's like my basic gist of like the difference of like, I don't want to say like you can't do political commentary in writing. Like if you're a writer, write what you want. The problem is, if you do political writing, it needs to be very, very good. And you have to also you also have to realize you're dating your piece, because like you're talking about insert government official I don't like here. That person is not going to be remembered or even talked about or even really considered like 10 years from now. So you're dating yourself. Whereas instead, if you write a philosophical piece that tells you about like how to be better, I think you'll reach more people that way. And also, it's just a more universal message that people can love and enjoy. Plus, you know, Tolkien was also just a really, really good writer in general, so that also helps. So stories just have politics just for the story to work. It doesn't mean it's a commentary, like monarchies in fantasy books. Yeah, like that's another thing. When I say, like, that's another thing. Like when we say we don't want politics in media, video games, movies, that's what we're talking about. Like you can have fantasy politics. Like people love Game of Thrones, or at least the first couple of seasons, because of like the political strife in there. Like my best friend Rao, he fucking loves Game of Thrones because of the political intrigue, because of like the factions that are constantly like working against each other, the cloak and dagger, the backstabbings, yada yada. Like that is interesting. But people don't want to be reminded of like, oh yeah, there's another war going on, or oh yeah, there's another thing happening today. Fiction should primarily be an escape from that, and on top of that, you can have like a good message about like being a good person. And no, I think I got what you were trying to say too. Like, so like when somebody tells you like, oh, you just don't want any sort of politics, period, in fantasy or whatever, like you just want everything to be boring. No, we want things to be interesting within the context of the story. Yes, if I'm gonna read a story about fantasy political conniving, then yes, there's gonna be politics in quotations, but it's not real world politics. And the politics that oh my god, I forgot his name again. What was his name again? This guy's a really amazing offer, and I forgot his fucking name. I'm a terrible, terrible person. Where is it? Andy Weir. And the politics he's talking about is like real world politics. And like it's in this quote too. The fiction author is trying to attain me to the value of my stupid opinions. There's so many memes just like that, unfortunately. But yeah, like Drinker and his buddies kind of like went into it, like how if you're reading from somebody, if you're reading or watching somebody who like made it very, very apparent that like this is gonna be a political messaging, and usually political messaging just means modern politics, like, oh, we need to have representation of certain people, or we need to like push certain agendas or whatever. Like another big problem with that, like whether you agree with it or not, is that, oh, I can already tell how this story is gonna end, because it's the same fucking talking points of every other story that came out in the past 10 years. So it gets boring. It's not only a case of like this story is boring, but it's a repeated pattern that we've been seeing for ages now. And that's why like we've been talking about it like ever since I started like openly talking about like here on the weekly debrief and all that about like, you know, quote unquote woke media and yada yada. Sorry, I hit the mic. You should read Tolkien's letters. He was clearly political in them. Yeah, but like I can 100% like Tolkien, like we're all political. Let's be honest. Like we all have our political opinions. Like we all have something that like things that we think should be done. Like I think that we should be doing it this way, or that we should be interacting with this group this way, and yada yada. We're all political. Like once you reach like your 20s, you're gonna start developing opinions if you haven't already. Like it's kind of like impossible not to. That being said, Tolkien for the most part, kept it out of his stories. The letters are different. Letters are like, you know, letters. They're private messages to friends and family. That wasn't meant to be put into a book. Now we can use that. Nah, Epicurus was apolitical. I don't know what that is. What is Epicurus? Is that a different book? Anyway, the point is, of course he had his opinions. Like, and maybe I would agree with them, maybe I wouldn't. Like, I know Tolkien was like Christian, like a very Christian conservative man. So like, there's probably things I agree with him on, and there's probably things I disagree with him on. But the point is, like, when it came to his stories, he told stories that it didn't matter what side of the political spectrum you were on, whether you were conservative or liberal, whether you were gay or straight, whether you were a man or a woman, or part of a specific faith or whatever. The point was, he was Catholic. Tomato, tomato. I mean, I know that's not true, but you know what I mean. The point is, he was a former Christian. The point I'm trying to make is, like, it's a universal story. It doesn't matter what faith you're part of. I think everyone, no matter your background, no matter your liege, no matter your how you were born, just a FYI. Fair. I think there's something you can take out of Lord of the Rings or the Silmarillion or the Hobbit if you give yourself the time and the chance to read, let's watch them. Maybe not the movie The Hobbit, because I heard that one's pretty bad, but read The Hobbit. The Hobbit's really good. I read it. I'm rereading it right now. It's a really good book. Anyway, they're lovely stories. They're lovely. But I think anyone can get something out of it if you give yourself the chance to digest them. I'm gonna try to get a monster inside of me. Excuse me? Hey, yo, are you gonna share? What are you doing over there, good sir? Everyone has a view on how the world should be. Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone's gonna have their own politics and opinions. The point is, like, you don't have to shove them into everything you do. You can write a story and just have fun with it. Or you can just write a story and just be like, I just hope people come away from this and are more happy, or more hopeful, or are more inspired to be a better person. And I think that's what the Lord of the Rings and, like, Tolkien's writings in general, like the public works, in particular, the specific stories we're aiming for. You know, they encourage good people. The hero's journey is universal. Yes, exactly. It's like the most commonly referred to of, like, was it Campbell, I believe? Campbell's 7 story arc versions or whatever. I think the hero's journey is, like, the most cited. But the point is, like, it's an easy one to point to and say of how, and point to how it's like, you know, that's something we can all aspire to. We can all, like, look at that and be like, yeah, I think I want to be a better person after seeing Aragorn be a badass, or seeing Sam be such a I want to be a better friend after seeing how Sam supported Frodo like that. You know, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, so I think, I hope I made my point of, like, how, and I'm not just rambling like an idiot, of how, like, there's a difference between a political piece and a philosophical one. One's more universal, one has better staying power, and I think one is more beloved in the long run. And that's kind of the stories that we should be kind of focusing on telling, especially when times are hard, and we already have the constant news cycles. We all have a rectangle of doom that we keep in our pockets that tells us of every bad thing that's happening at every single moment. Maybe every now and then we want to put that down and just say, hey, I want something that makes me feel good and will make me feel like there's hope for the future, rather than, you know, constant doom scrolling and all that. And that's why Project Hail Mary is such a fucking masterpiece, because it said, hey, let's turn off, like, the horror and drama of modern day, and let's just have fun and tell a heartwarming story of triumph, human ingenuity and indomitable spirit, unity, and just, like, feel good, man. Let's just feel good at the end of it. Anyway, so, like, that's all preamble to, like, Let's just watch this video of a gay British man gooning over Project Hail Mary because it was a really fucking good movie, and I'm gonna be gooning along with him.
In the 7 basic plots, author Christopher Booker attempts.
Something political like 1984 is timeless though. Yeah, it is. But it's very hard to do that. Because, and I think there's like a reason for that. I can't give you like a solid reason, but like if I had to guess, it's because it's primarily a dedicated political piece. Like I said, people will always like, I'm not saying that there's not room for that. And if I didn't make that clear, like let me try to make that clear now. There is room for political commentary. That being said, do you read 1984 for fun? I didn't read it for fun. I read it because I felt that I should be informed and I should read it. I mean, I'm not saying like it has like its fun moments. Like it's an interesting story. It has like some for fun. Maybe you're smarter than me, X4. Maybe that's just the case. You're just smarter than me. But the point is, like, I think it's more of a piece for like examining and trying to get a better grasp of the future. Whereas, like, you can read a philosophical piece, you can learn something from it, learn something timeless from it, and you can more easily do it just for fun, you know? Like I said, I'm rereading The Hobbit because it's fun. But also, it's a story about, you know, rising to the occasion, proving yourself to people who might doubt you, fulfilling the airs of what the hell is that? Oh shit. Fulfilling a past, honoring your past and your forefathers, you know, things like that. There's good messaging in that story too, but also it's fun because there's like dragons and dwarves and giant spiders and goofy shit. I watch Pop Team Epic for political commentary. That's where you should get all your politics from, honestly. If you're not using that as your primary form of engagement, then you're really like, are you qualified to talk about modern day politics if you're not watching Pop Team Epic?
That damn near all
it's interesting points about human condition, war, governments, and empires. Yeah, like I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that like I'm not gonna feel particularly good at the end of it. I'll feel like I learned more. I will feel like I did spend a good feeling. Words, how they work. I will feel as if I spent my time well, and I did feel like I spent my time well after reading 1984. And to be fair, like there's sci-fi elements, there's interesting elements to it. Like you can have fun with it, but it's not a feel-good book. I don't think George Orwell sat down and wrote 1984 and thinking, yeah, people are gonna feel really good after reading this. No, he wrote it as a warning, and I think he meant it to be a very serious and a very a digestible but still very dour book. Again, fun is subjective. You can read it and you can have fun with it. That's perfectly fine. But he didn't write it to try to. I don't think he wrote it to try to make you smile. Like I can say that pretty confidently. Just saying. Also, thank you for the water, Snowy Mama. Can I call you Snowy Mama? I don't know. I feel like that rolls off the tongue better. I can stick with Snowy Mommy if you prefer. Sure. Thanks. But thank you for the water as well. You should read the afterword it as an optimistic viewpoint. Yeah, like I don't think he wanted you to like walk away entirely and be like everything sucks, we're all gonna die, our world governments are gonna kill us all. I mean, they still might. Who knows? Just stick around, we'll find out. But the point is, the afterword is kind of, well, first of all, that is separate from the book itself. You know, it's just the author talking directly to you. But also at the same time, like I said, I don't think he went in trying to make a feel-good story. Whereas, like, I know for a fact that Tolkien did go in writing Lord of the Rings as a feel-good story. Yes, there's drama. The appendix, the principles of Newspeak. Isn't that like an in-universe, what do you call it? Like an in-universe appendix? Something like that? I haven't read the afterword, I will be honest. I only read like the main story. I really should go back. The thing is, do I own? Yeah, I do. Because like I think I've told you guys, I consume most of my audiobooks through, or most of my books through audiobooks. I would have to like pull up my physical copy to actually like go through all that. Anyway, the point is like Tolkien did go through Lord of the Rings, and he did want it to end with a happy, feel-good ending. Because like, again, he denies it, but the books are kind of an allegory for World War I. And part of the idea was that he wanted to have an ending that, unfortunately, he and his friends who went off to war, when I think only he and one other friend came back alive, he wanted a happy ending where all the friends went home and they lived happily ever after. He wanted a feel-good story where, you know, the plucky band of brothers did come home. And, like, I think that was the intention. Oh, fuck. Where the fuck am I? But, yeah, the point is, like, it's, I'm not going to deny the staying power in 1984. I'm just saying, like, they hit different. And I think that was intentional by the authors. Universe, but a narrative perspective after the events. Yeah. Okay, so... And I hope that makes sense. I might just be blabbering and saying nonsense, which is fine. I do that. I do that often. Anyway. But, I still think there's something, there is, like I said, there is room for political commentary. I think there is necessariness for political commentary. But your average person is gonna more likely remember the philosophical work that makes them happy than that dour piece that, like, they felt like they had to read, but at the end of the day, you know, it just left them feeling like, ugh. Which is, like, you know, this is how it is. Anyway, what we done?
Stories ever written conform to one of
God, I wanted to end this at like the 3-hour mark. Oh my god, what is gonna happen? I can't.
Story cast. What would once have been.
Anyway, I think we can kind of go through what like I kind of already said regarding why these stories stick. I was joking with like I was like talking about the movie with like my because like only me and my brother went to see it, and we came home and my mom and my sister were in the kitchen, and they were just talking, and they asked us about the movie and everything, and I was joking with my sister because, like, let's be honest, my sister is a little bit of a Wookiee. She's a little bit of a lefty. So I poke fun at her about that, and she's never won an argument, by the way, just saying. Or a debate, you can call it whatever you want. But she's kind of like being culturally captured by this. But I went in and was like, this is probably the most diverse and humanistic story I've seen in a long time.
And to the kind of movie that used
and that's true, it is. Like, if you just look at like all the beginning of the movie is literally all the world governments coming together to try to solve this problem of the black dots, or what do you want to call them, like the astrophades. Yeah, the astrophades creatures that are coming in to like consume the sun and kill all of us. This is a story about humanity uniting, and in that sense, it is the most diverse and wholesome story ever. But, you know, the Oscars would probably prefer something along the lines of like Sinners, or what was the winner in the last award ceremonies? One battle after another, because it talked about all the correct political talking points, yada yada, and all that bullshit. But that's, you know, that's just how they work. But this is actually like a holistic, you know, diverse and like, you know, human story. Also, welcome Kurakami. Hope you're doing good. A Wookiee, she can't be that. Wait, what? No. I'm not that mean to my little sister, goddamn. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's a little bit of little bit of lefty, a little bit of wokey, and all there. But anyway, like you can see it right here. Like, you know, we got like people from China. This lady's supposed to be German. Africa. All the African nations. We had like all of Europe. Like everyone coming together and working together to try to like solve this problem. And then it even ultimately leads to like even more unity with like a humanity and an alien race working together to like, you know, save their homes.
It's still
and like the ultimate takeaway, like I do recommend watching this video because we're not gonna have time to like go through it and talk about it properly. It's Lost Cores, the secret of Project Hail Mary's the Project Hail Mary, and the real big here, I'll tell you the secret. The secret is that it's a hero's journey, but it scrambles the order of things. In a usual hero's journey, you start with the call to adventure. Then usually the hero is reluctant to accept the call. Like you probably heard all this with the hero's journey. The reluctance to answer the call. But then something happens that kind of forces them into it, and then they rise to the occasion, and then the hero realizes that they had the potential all along, and then they do the thing, they slay the dragon, they save the princess, yada yada, and then they have like their triumphant journey home, yada yada. You know the hero's journey. Yeah, basically Star Wars: A New Hope. If you've seen New Hope, you know the hero's journey. The difference is the substitute is like the way this movie not substitute. What what the fuck is that word? It's a word that I usually hate, but it was used in a very clever way in this movie. Subject. Oh fuck, what is that word? When you go against the norm of like an established trope. Subjugate, not subjugate. What is it? Subverting. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the movie subverts your expectations. And I usually hate that term because everything in modern media subverts expectations. Like they usually make like the hero character and actually a pussy, and they have like a this like overpowered girl boss come in and like takes the opportunity and takes all the glory and does all the things and yada yada. Project 31, not Project, was it Project 31? Section 31 with like the Star Trek movie where they subverted expectations by having like in like the clean and perfect Star Trek future, they have like these rambunctious, lovable characters, or at least that they love to believe that they are. You know, like I can keep going on and on. Like every modern movie is subverting expectations, which has kind of become the norm. Like people will just expect you to subvert things. You know, there has to be a twist. There has to be you have to go against like the grain, even though going against the grain is the grain at this point. It is the norm. I don't know who said it best. It might have been somebody from Red Letter Media, but like you can't subvert expectations if subverting expectation is the expectation at this point. Like you're not doing anything different. But in this case, Project Hail Mary did a great actual subversion, because in this you don't find out until the very towards the very end of the movie that Grace denied the call to adventure, denied the call to go save humanity and go to space and do this whole expedition, and he ended up having to do it by himself due to circumstances in the movie. All the other scientists who were on board, the other astronauts, unfortunately died in the process. It was actually pretty clever. He's the entire time he's trying to try to figure out why am I here? It doesn't make sense. I'm just he's slowly remembering what happened, because you get the flashbacks and you can assume that he's remembering with you, and he's remembering okay, I was just a middle school science professor or teacher or whatever, and I got involved with the government and then I helped them and yada yada, but at no point whatsoever does it make sense for me to go up there and be here doing the mission myself, until you get to the end where they find out that their science officers got killed in an accident last minute, and there's no time to train anybody else, so he has to do it. He has to be the guy. He has to be the one that they send up into space and do the suicide mission and save Earth and yada yada, save the human race. Lambert Dingus says she have passed on your stream, so I have to tell you. Who's Lambert Dingus? I don't know what that is. Anyway, welcome my lucky 7. I feel like I'm being got. There's like a meme here. Anyway, unfortunate. I hope they're doing well. Anyway. It was such a clever twist. Shut up. Oh my god, I hate everything. How dare you guys. But yeah, it was such a clever twist at the end. Again, by the way, spoilers, I haven't... God, I should have said this at the beginning.
Refuses the call, he does so in perhaps the most disheartening and embarrassing and self-abnegating way he...
Translation. He refused the call like a fucking loser. He didn't just say, no, I can't do it, but he also just, like, fumbled away. He ran away. They had to, like, drug him. To basically drag him onto the ship and force him to do it. And it's just, like... I never said that. Did you not? Also, welcome, McClory. Is this a raid? Fawcett, what is happening? Hello, people. Is this a raid? I don't know. I never seen a raid on YouTube, but welcome, people on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by. We're talking about like the Project Hail Mary, but we're also like to talk about drama in general. I hope you're having a good evening. Welcome, boutique shipping and morning K Lori. As well as you, Lucky 7. But yeah, it was just a group of fans. Okay. Well, welcome anyway. I'm glad you guys are here. I don't know how raids work on YouTube. I think you have to be like at least 1,000 subscribers or something like that, which I'm not near that at all. But anyway. Spreading false information. It's fine. I'm okay with it. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I recommend you guys go see it if you haven't already. As you're getting drugged and ending up on a ship, typically just end with one of your kidneys gone. I mean, like maybe he got the best. I mean, he got sent on a suicide mission into like the furthest reaches of space. So if you think about it, maybe losing a kidney would have been worse. But I don't know. Also, I love the way. Again, he doesn't show it here, but this little scene right here where like they're telling him that you're gonna have to go on the ship and you don't have a choice. You're gonna do it. They're getting ready to restrain him. Like, again, like he gets forced into the adventure. He gets forced to take the call of the adventure, in the most like pathetic way possible. Like I said, they tackled him like at the gate, and they drugged him and forced him onto the ship. Leading up to that, like he was in the office. He was talking to the German lady, like the head scientist lady, and they were like going over like you have to do it, Grace. Like we don't have anyone else. We don't have time to do anybody else. It's got to be you. And he's like, no, I can't do it. Like, this is my final decision. No. And it's like, okay, fine. We're gonna have to force you. And she calls in like the guards, like these Secret Service looking guys, and they're like, they're getting ready to like restrain him and like force him into it, right? And Grace is such a pathetic twink that he can't even fight back. Again, he doesn't show it here, but he actually grabs this chair, and I was thinking like, oh my god, he's gonna like grab the chair and like try to bludgeon one of the guards. Instead, he fumbles it, he drops the chair, and then he tries to climb up this these shelves like an idiot, thinking like that will like get him away from the guards. It's so pathetic, but it's so indicative of his character. He's not a fighter. He very much isn't the guy. At least he very much believes that he isn't the guy. But he does rise to the occasion despite all this, like, again, this pathetic meandering that he does. It's so good. Again, like, this movie has such good highs and lows. When there's comedy or sadness, all I can really tell you is just like it does it so well. And it's not like Marvel comedy. It's like subtle little humor here and there. Just like, you know, Grace, Ryan Gosling, he's literally me, man. He's so relatable. And like, I mean, that's why everyone calls him the like, he's literally me guy. Because like, he's just the nerd that's like, you know, over his head, and you feel for him. And he's he's so good in this role. I love it. Wow, this is your first raid. We feel honored. Thanks. Thank you for the raid, 7. Random. No, I appreciate 7. I'm glad he's here. Number 1 chapter, Yoda Shadows here on YouTube are probably evil. They probably are. I mean, they are a little bit. I'm okay with it. He's the guy with both his kidneys. Yeah, he got away with both of them. So that's all. That's why he's relatable. He's got both of them. But yeah, it's the science is clever. Like I don't know if it's 100% accurate. Like I'm not a rocket scientist, obviously, or a biologist or anything like that. But it feels it's easy to understand as long as like you're paying attention and you know a little bit of like basic like high school level science. And you can follow along relatively well. You can feel smart about it. Oh, this guy was funny, like surprisingly out of nowhere. You gotta watch the movie for you to realize it. This one-off guy, again, international team. You got people from everywhere. Like this is an actual movie about like humanity coming together, unity and friendship. And I want, like, on that note of friendship, he gets along with this guy named Carl, who's like one of the guards for the German lady. Again, I keep forgetting her name. The head scientist lady, this chick, that chick. And they strike up like a surprising friendship with each other, and it's like and Grace is like an absolute social outcast. Like he doesn't get along with anybody, like not because he's a bad person, but because he's just like an introvert and a nerd and a loser like we've already mentioned several times. But he gets along with for some reason he gets along very well with her bodyguard, and they become like he becomes like his last friend on Earth, so to speak. The last good human friend he makes. I'm trying to see if I can get like a good picture of him. Carl, where are you? There he is. It's like there in the background there. Where are you, Carl?
But by a more abstract and intellectual kind of fun.
I think that's him. I think that's Carl. Yeah. And he helps them with like his experiments, and they kind of find out like a lot of their discoveries together, with him as like basically an assistant to Grace. And one of my favorite scenes, like it's a super subtle thing. It's part of the scene where like again they're like they're restraining him and they're like drugging him to try to like force him onto the ship and everything. Carl is the last guy to talk to him. He's like the last person that says anything to him, and Carl says like you're gonna do great. And like he was right. Like Carl was fucking right. He did great. He did the job, and he did it very well. He saved the sun, he saved Earth, he saved the human race. And Carl believed in him. And it's just like a subtle, quiet moment that like you don't think about it, but I remember like thinking about it like after the fact of like, oh my god, he was right. Like his last friend on Earth believed in him. And like he was 100% right about it. Like he did it. He fucking did it. Which is just, I don't know, it was just like a wholesome moment that I came to. Like again, like I'm butchering it. I could probably be a bit more thorough and precise if we were like going through this video like properly, and I could like react to it, but I'm trying to like go a little quicker because we're running out of time. But long story short, watch Project Hail Mary. It's really fucking good. All the losers hate it because Critical Drinker liked it. And it's everything that modern movies should be. It's not a political story, it's a philosophical story about all the things that make humans good. Friendship, unity, indomitable human spirit, the wonders of space, and so many other good, wonderful things that we should all just like, appreciate more, and we need more of in this day and age, especially because like it's been rough. It's been rough the past couple of months. So, and like maybe even more for everyone else. So, watch it. He's just like me, for real, for real. Exactly. Like that's like the ultimate reason to watch it. It's literally a movie about you. Anyway, it's amazing. I 100% recommend it. I can't wait to. I kind of want to see it again, but I definitely gonna like get it out on Blu-ray as soon as it's available and all that. Fantastic movie. It's my movie of the year. I cannot really see anything topping it. I know we're like only in April, but I find it hard to believe that something could top it at this point, because it's just really hard to find good good movies nowadays, and this was just such like a surprising hit in my opinion. But yeah, 100% recommend it. Anyway, let's quickly like go through these because we only have like 12 minutes, and I have so many other topics. You know what? I don't really care about this one. This one's really funny. 12 minutes. Well, it's because like, okay, I didn't like get to finish this, but I kind of want to like keep I want to like leave my is it 12 minutes? Maybe like maybe a little 30 minutes after that, maybe. I don't know, like 40 minutes. It's because like I wanted to like kind of keep the weekly debriefs like 3 hours or less. I know I never do that, but I would like to keep it like relatively short. But I don't know, there's no fucking structure to anything that I do. It's just really like we're kind of just going with the flow of things, and we're having fun or not. They covered like 3 things. I know. I know. I'm a terrible host. It's not your fault, you. It absolutely is not your fault. Is that when I decided this? All right, let's finish this one up real quickly. Okay, we were talking about the Jujutsu Kaisen character.
Reminder that Kirara isn't a femboy; she's a trans femme.
Yes, of course she is.
2,000 upvotes. Redditor saying, seeing way too many people disrespecting her in TikTok.
Oh no, they're disrespecting the pronouns of this trans character.
She'll appear in season 3. I would love to remind y'all that she's heavily implied to be trans femme.
Oh,
whoa,
yes.
Hold on a second. What's this? A tweet from Yes.
He's so fucking hot, by the way. I love punk femboys. I need to do like some art of myself as like in punk attire. Maybe some piercings, but definitely like choker and things like that, because I love the punk aesthetic.
Yesterday, with 1 million views, that says Kirara's gender has
and
been
again, like I'm the most punk
confirmed.
person I know in terms of like my attitude.
Hoshi Kirara's basic information profile. Gender, male. Reading Hoshi Kirara's basic information profile. Gender.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh fuck no. Oh, and then you can kind of guess what happened afterwards. A femboy character got confirmed to be male. I'm sure people were very reasonable and level-headed and calm in their response to this news. I expect good civil discussions to come out of this.
Male. The article comes from information by the official anime committee.
It's official, guys.
Gege, the author. Similar.
The author themselves said it.
Early, this post talks about how this information came from the JJK anime production committee before
the author, the writer of JJK manga himself confirmed this.
For the airing of JJK season 3.
Oh, here's his own words. Kirara is a third-year student at Jujutsu Technical College, just like Hakari. He hangs out with Hakari, who is suspended, and it's clear that they have a close friend, so although he looks like a Gyaru, he's actually male. Oh no. Oh no.
There's the approval of Gege Akatami, the writer.
Sorry, I don't follow Jujutsu Kaisen that much. No, me neither. But the problem is that, like, I don't know if you saw that opening, Mayumi, but, like, there has been this constant, let's look at the character. What's the character's name again? Kiara Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's get like a good look at this guy. JJK, there he is. I wonder why he's at the top of the board. Why is everybody talking about this character? Huh. Might be because there's like a controversy recently. Yeah, anyway, this character is being like, this happens with every fucking character. That every femboy ever, they immediately have to claim them, quote unquote. They have to decide that, oh, he is actually a she, and she is a trans femme. She's trans. We decided, therefore it is that. That is the truth. Also, a lot of these art that has him with boobs and such, like, this is just like fan art. This isn't canon. Like, I'm pretty sure this isn't canon. This looks pretty low, so I don't know. But, you know, men can have pecs too. Even like, you know, femboys. God, I'm sure people are being very normal about him. Anyway, let's keep going.
Has been officially confirmed. Image included, reading
My boys are under
Hoshi
attack.
Kira's
Exactly.
basic information profile. Gender, male. The article comes from information by
I love
the
that.
official anime
Dramatic
committee,
scene.
overseen by Gege, the author. Similarly, this post talks about how this information came from the JJK Anime Production Committee before the airing of JJK Season 3, and that, yes, it bears the approval of Gege Akatami, the writer of JJK, where this translation says, Kirida is a third-year student at Jujutsu Technical College. Just like Akari, he hangs out
They're
with
high school
Akari, who
students.
is suspended,
Sure.
and it's clear that they have a close
thought they were older.
relationship. Although he looks like a Gyaru, he is actually male. Another translation detail reading, Kirida has a genderless charm, so there were different predictions swirling among fans if his voice actor was to be male or female. Some people are not happy about this. This tweet getting 40.
No. It's fine. Nobody cares. Everyone's being normal about it. I swear.
4,700 likes that says, if you think Kirida is a man, block me right now. The angry person added, femboys genuinely fight tooth and nail to
Why isn't he even showing me why isn't he showing like the actual like tweets properly?
erase trans characters, as if you don't get two super popular characters already being Astolfo and Felix Argyle. Screw off with your erasure.
The thing is, Astolfo and Felix are like the only ones we fucking have. Can you name any other femboy off the top of your head? Like, I know a few other ones, but can you name any other ones? Like, off the top of your head. Like, most people just default to Astolfo or sometimes Felix. Because there's no other ones. The Blend S one. I don't even know that one's name. I know who you're talking about. But the point is, we don't have that many... we don't really even have that many femboy characters. Not really. There's like, what, less than a dozen that people actually remember? Like, there's probably like more from like early 2000s anime that like I don't know of, but I know there's not that many. So like they're acting like we're drowning the fandom with femboy characters, and like there's so many of them. Like, you have all the good ones, and yada. Like, dude, not really. There's only 3 good femboy characters: Astolfo, or like good / famous ones. Astolfo, Felix, and Hanao, and that's literally it. There's like hardly any more. It's funny how the people who say people should be able to identify the way they want also want to tell others what they are. Exactly. Like that kind of gets into like some of the arguments that Hero brings up.
All right, buddy. First of all, having 2 popular
From
characters
Baka
doesn't mean you
Test.
get to
I've
erase
never
all
heard
the
of
other
Baka
femboy
Test.
characters. Like, that's not how that works. That's
Najimi from
Komi-san. And this
Komi-san.
person's really trying to argue that femboys are erasing.
Isn't Najimi supposed to be trans though? Because I haven't read. It might have been the Western translation, but I heard that Najimi, he's more gender fluid. I don't know. I don't think he's like a femboy. Like, they're weird with him.
Almost every time we get a femboy character, the modern audience is like,
Like, he
oh,
doesn't
that
like
has
being
to be a
called
trans
boy
one.
and things like
And
that.
it's really
But I don't
weird
know.
how
That
they
might have been the translation I read.
always
I
ignore
don't
the
know.
actual
You never know
trans
with
characters out there
the
and always want to
localizations
try to
these
go after
days.
the femboys. They're so extremely brain rotted on this topic that they even go after terminology. For example,
Oh god, who's Hideyose? Who's Hideyose? Shy, excuse me. Had its own gag being gendered as Hideyoshy. I have no idea who that is. Science Kid out of Femboy. I think I remember. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name though. You're right.
they tried to stop femboys.
Baka the Test one. Oh, okay. But again, like it's always like this murky area. Like, you can never have like a definitive femboy. The only ones I know of are, again, Astolfo and fuck, I forgot the other one. And Felix, yeah, those are like the only confirmed ones. Like, heck, even the one that, I think someone said Blend S. The Blend S one is also kind of like murky, whether they identify as like a boy or not as well. And I don't remember one in Overlord. Oh yeah. The twins, yeah. Like, one was the sister was like a cross dressed as a boy, and the brother cross dressed as a girl. Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
being called trap, saying that even calling a femboy trap is offensive because trap should be a slur. They tried to say that trap is just a slur for a trans woman.
Yeah, that was a thing for a while. Thankfully, it's kind of gone back. I remember making a tweet recently, relatively recently, about how Dan Burrow started using the word trap in their search engine, which made me think that, like, oh my god, we're finally like returning to normalcy. We're able to use that word again. And I love the word trap. Like, I always thought it was like super cute and fun.
It's like, no, 99% of the time that word is not even directed at someone who's trans. It's being directed at a femboy.
Exactly. Like, trap is primarily a femboy term. And I think Kira's gonna go into this. Like, we like it when you call us traps because, like, it means like we find it funny, and it means like, oh, we did our job. We did our job right.
And most of the time, the femboy likes being called a trap anyways because they find it funny. It gets even worse, though, because around 2022, there were a bunch of trans people on Twitter that were also trying to get people to stop using the word femboy for femboys. They said it was, like, offensive and that people should call them rose boys instead. That was also a really dumb little episode. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever read online.
Thankfully, that one didn't catch on
that
much. Feminist cis men have to be trans. It's okay to push them. That's not okay. That's the thing.
Their favorite memes says feminine cis men have to be trans, and it's okay to push them to identify as such. This gets reposted on Twitter from time to time, occasionally even getting over 10k likes. And then they'll joke around about, like, egg culture.
I already told you guys, like, my opinion on egg culture and all that. Like, it's literally just like, it's just conversion therapy / grooming, and it's so fucking creepy. I already told you my story about how I've had actual trans women try to coerce me to take HRT and such, and how fucking uncomfortable it made me. It's probably one of the more scary situations I've had in my entire life. You know, like, you know how people talk about, like, how they had, like, sexual assault experiences, or like they almost got sexually assaulted and things like that. I think that was like the closest it ever came around for me. I don't know if I should be grateful or not. I'm not. That it wasn't worse, but the point is, like, it's kind of weird. You think, like, once you're like you're in your mid 20s, you wouldn't have to ever have that need to feel like you need an adult. But, like, in those scenarios, again, it happened twice with two separate trans women, where I legitimately felt like I was not safe and I needed an adult. It was very odd, especially because, like, one of them was younger than me too, so it's like, what's happening? Which
is basically saying that someone is trans, they just don't know it yet. We need to push them to crack the egg. Yeah, that's called grooming. That's
yeah. Like, one of them specifically used the term egg, and I fucking hated it.
Good thing to do. What's the matter with you? Now, thankfully, I've seen some trans people call this stuff out, but unfortunately, they're always a minority. It's disturbing how prevalent this stuff is. Yet bro's really trying to act like it's femboys that are trying to erase characters. Yeah, right, dude. We have all the evidence to the contrary. Oh, by the way, it's funny how on top of them actually being the ones...
And, like, that's the thing. Like, if you want your own, like, trans characters, just fucking make them. The problem is that there's so many. They're always trying to, like, take established femboy characters and then rewrite them as trans. So, like, that they're the ones actually doing the erasure. It's going their direction, and they've even succeeded at it twice. I can think of two examples where they actually did succeed on it. One was not Stoffel, Bridget from Guilty Gear, and the other is Vivian from Paper Mario. Both of them were originally, in the original versions of their games, were femboys, or otokanoke, whichever term you want to use. I guess the proper term would be otokanoke, because, you know, Japanese games. But they have been successfully written in, like, the latest re-releases and the latest versions of those games, like Guilty Gear Strive or the Paper Mario remake. They have been officially become trans characters. So that's actual... I don't want to use the word erasure, because erasure is such, like, an extreme term. It's like you're actually, like, rewriting history, which I guess they kind of are. But they actually did successfully... Did they transwash them? Maybe erasure is the correct term. I don't know. But the point is, like, they called for it. They wanted it. They got what they wanted. And I'm not gonna say I'm going to burn the world down because of it, but at the same time, Like, it just makes me shake my head, and it's like, why? Like, why? you don't fucking need it. If you want trans characters, go play fucking Blaze Blue. Not Blaze Blue. Fuck, what's that one other fighting game that's like a gacha game? It's not Blaze Blue. It's Grand Blue. Grand Blue has like a ton of trans characters apparently. I know one of those supposed to be like a wrestler and is like 8 feet tall, buffer than any man I've ever known, but identifies as a woman. There you go, trans character. Happy day, good for you. Enjoy her. Go have fun. Like I'm 100% okay with that. Just leave like the femboys alone. Like, why do you have to bother them?
To erase femboy characters, they also constantly misgender femboy characters too. Same people will literally try to cancel.
Never want to create their own story. They just want to co-opt others. Like, I mean, like there's so much more to that as well. Like, you're not wrong to it, but there's also more to it as well as they need to co-op not just other characters, but they need to co-op like the famous ones. They need the ones that are. That's why I think that's so telling. This person's like tantrum right here when they bring up Stoffel and Felix, because again, Stoffel and Felix are the ones that are most prevalent, and that's why every couple of years you're gonna see somebody being like, Stoffel should be trans or something like that, or Felix should be trans, because they don't just want to make femboys trans. They want the famous ones. They want the ones that matter. And that's why they're kind of really bummed out about this one, I imagine, because Kiara, that's his name. Kiara is from Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the most popular and most talked about manga and anime right now. It's like one of the leading anime in this moment in history. That's why they want to claim him, because he's relevant, because he's famous. It's a matter of, you know, winning the battles that are the most prevalent. You know, like again, I use the word battle and I'm gonna use the word war, but you know, culture war, right? Some battles are more important than others, and if you win them, then you advance your line more further than other ones, the more minor ones. That's why they care more about this kind of character. And why, like, again, we talked about, you guys mentioned like quite a few other characters, Najimi, the Blend-S character, Hidoyoshi. Again, like, I don't know most of these. I should look into them, because I need to watch more stuff with more femboys. But that being said, you don't hear any talk about those ones, and I think it's very telling that this person who's complaining about like, trans eraser, you like, why can't you just let go of your femboys, yada yada. It's very telling that they only care about Stoffel and Felix, but they don't bring up these other ones. Like, and I even told you guys, like, I think the one from Komi, Najimi, is kind of like gray, because like from what I read, because again, I'm not sure if my version was accurate, but that one, Najimi doesn't like being referred to as a boy. I think he's like gender fluid or something like that. Because also he switches between, again, this is my theory. Like, I might be completely wrong. But yeah, Najimi is Najimi. But yeah, whatever. The point is, like, he could probably count he, she, they, whatever you want to call him. Probably qualifies as like a gender fluid kind of character, but nobody talks about them. Like, isn't this what you want? Isn't this like the femboy / trans representation you want? But I never see anybody talk about Najimi, and I like Najimi. I think they're really, really cute. I would plop that so damn hard. Anyway, but the point is, choosing battles. They want the Astoffels, they want the Felixes, they want the Kiaras, because they're relevant, because they're important, because they're famous, because they would be major victories if they can claim them. And that's why they're getting so up in arms about this one. There's something interesting I kind of noticed. Is Gisela from Bleach trans? I don't remember, only remember the bad stuff Gisela did. I don't fucking know. I think I know what you're talking about. Bleach. I don't fucking know. what's the wiki say? It says female here. I don't fucking know. And also, I don't particularly trust Reddit because Reddit? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. They're cute though. Absolutely would. Also, apparently they're like a war criminal, right? Aren't they like they're like the equivalent of like a Nazi scientist. They did like very evil experiments on people. I might be wrong. Nice. Nice. Anyway, whatever they are, you know, whatever. I put my dick in that. Sure, why not? It doesn't really matter in the end to me. If they cute, I'm game. That doesn't matter. I don't care what you identify. She, her, I'm game, girl. He, him, yeah, boy, let's do it. They, them. All right. I don't know how to respond to a they, them, but I'm for it anyway. The point is, like, it doesn't matter as long as you're cute, in my opinion. Like, I don't fucking discriminate. Except when I do. Anyway. They're cute, but are they funny? I don't know. Are they? I don't know. They're a little cunny. Just saying. Just a little bit. Anyway. Like, that might be a trans character, but nobody talks about them. Because nobody cares. Because that character is not famous enough.
Hey, dude, we have all the evidence to the contrary. Oh, by the way, it's funny how on top of them actually being the ones to erase femboy characters, they also constantly misgender femboy characters too. Same people will literally try to cancel your entire life.
Yeah, that really is it, isn't it? Like, if you misgender somebody, like, you honestly reasonably assume that this person in front of you is a sir because they didn't do a very good job. Look, I'm sorry. Not everybody's passing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just how it is. People are gonna make mistakes. If you correct them, 90% of people are gonna be willing to, like, apologize and then go along with what you would prefer. That's fine. That's how I operate. I'm pretty sure, like, that's how most people operate. And we've gone through this discussion over and over again. But that doesn't mean that if somebody makes a mistake, you can end that person's life or demand that their life is ruined or demand that they get fired and yada yada yada. Like, there's all these compelled speech laws. I know it's like really bad in like places like Europe and particularly in the UK where you can get arrested for misgendering people and yada yada. I think Canada is also a really bad place for this. But like in relation to this, like, you're quite literally misgendering guys who identify as guys. Like, again, like, if you said I was a girl, well, I would just laugh it off. But if you insisted, no, you're a girl now, you dress like one, you should take some HRT. If you continually do that, you're misgendering me at that point. Like, by your logic, by those people's logic, shouldn't I get you arrested? Because you're misgendering me.
You misgender someone, but hey, if they do it, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
They never abide by their own standards.
America's
Let's go back
hat.
to their evidence of why they say Kira's trans. They say
Let's see,
Kira
what's the
getting jealous
sentence?
when Akari mentions his ex, implying Akari and Kira are dating.
Okay, can two guys not date? Okay, now this sounds like... Okay, now this could be skewed as being homophobic.
Saying, I don't know, friends that do this with each other.
Again, can they not be a gay couple? I don't know. I've seen plenty of guys get that close to each other.
They're getting all close. Another saying official art of Kira when they were younger looks like they were previously male.
I didn't start cross-dressing until I was like 19, 20. Actually, similar to Kira's age. Kiridia, I don't know how to pronounce it. They're supposed to be like late high school, like 30 years high school. So like, 17, 18. I didn't start cross-dressing until I was like around 19, 20. 19, 20. You know what I mean? 19 or 20 years old. I told you guys my story of how like I did it because my girlfriend at the time, the two of us did a collab, a sort of couple costume where we were both like dressed up as shy girls for Halloween one year. So does that mean I'm trans? Because I never, because before that night, that Halloween night, I don't remember what year, but before that Halloween night, when I was 19 or 20, I had never cross-dressed my entire life. Does that mean I'm trans now? Because like that sounds like what they're implying. Also, hey Ollie, welcome. We're talking about femboys. Good for you to drop in on this at this exact moment. It's actually very appropriate. And I never had pockets again. No, I still wear shorts. I love my shorts. Look, I don't always just wear dresses. Also, this jacket has so many fucking pockets you wouldn't believe. You guys don't understand. Dolphin shorts. What are dolphin shorts? I don't think I've heard of that one yet.
And Akari joking about not being into men. So first of all, the evidence looks like they were
joking about not being into men. Who wants to ride a Ferris wheel with a dude? Probably could have refused. I mean, you can joke. Look, I joke about being gay all the time. Like, about that. Yeah, I'm not into guys. Only like girls.
Previously
and shit
male,
like that.
And Akari joking about not
only
being
like
into
pussy.
Men. So first of all, the evidence of he wasn't feminine before. Yeah, guess what?
This is all stuff that I literally have done before, but I guess by this person's metric, I am trans. But then again, I have been told that I should be trans, but fuck me.
Male and Akari joking about not being into men. So first of all, the evidence of
he's literally
he
doing
wasn't
everything I've
feminine
done
before. Yeah, guess what? Maybe he didn't want to be a femboy back then, and then he changed his mind. Now he wants to be a femboy. Wow, crazy. Which is the same logic that they use for Kirita being trans. They say, oh, you know, he was a guy, now he's a trans woman. So it's funny that they'll use that standard
it works.
themselves,
You can literally can just wake up one day and decide, you know what? I'm gonna wear a skirt today. That literally could be the beginning of your femboy journey. It literally can be that fucking easy. It doesn't mean you're a different gender. It just means I wanted to try a skirt on that day. I just joined. I don't know what's going on. We're talking about this character that was confirmed to be male, and everybody's losing their fucking mind because they basically confirmed that this character. I'll just show you a picture of them. Or Hoshi. This character was confirmed to be a femboy, a femboy, and everybody's losing their collective minds because a big chunk of the fan base insisted that this character has to be a trans woman when the offer and literally every other context clue was telling us no, he just is a Gyaru femboy. He just likes to dress up femininely, and that's literally it. It's not complicated. He's just a guy who likes to dress up cute and he likes to take dick. I mean, if he's doing shit like this, I imagine he's also gay, which is fine. I love seeing femboys take 20-inch cocks. It's pretty hot. Anyway, moving on.
Can't work for a femboy though. If he wasn't always a femboy, he can never be a femboy apparently.
How dare you, Benui, not conforming to someone else's worldview? How dare I deny the powerful trans women who tried to groom me? Damn it, I'm just a transphobe, guys. It's all true. Like all my experiences, like clearly, I'm just a fucking transphobe.
It's ridiculous. And every other point simply goes back to one of the most popular memes out there. Femboys, which is like, is it gay to be with a femboy? Like, everyone's heard that joke before. He very well could just be playing into that trope. Backing up that point is this post from a Japanese user that says, to begin with, in Japan, the interpretation of whether a man who likes cute otakonoko, cross-dressing boys, is gay or not is not clear-cut. If someone has redacted and identifies as male and is cute, their lover isn't necessarily considered gay.
That's a whole other debate. Like, are you gay? Are you gay if you like femboys? Yes, you are. But they're trying to use this as like explanation, like, oh, this guy, the big chin dude, he doesn't like men. So if he likes her, if he likes him, that must mean she's a her actually. Which is just like, god.
Another angry post responds to the news and says, Hikari isn't gay, doesn't even like hanging out with dudes, dates Kirita, Kirita's a boy, media literacy shot dead in a back alley. It's funny how
dude, if like, look, there's a reason why like femboys are often like we're kind of like a gateway drug if you think about it. Like, you might not realize that you're bi. Like, there's nothing wrong with being bi, guys. Look, there's nothing fucking wrong with it. If a cute guy makes you think like, you know what, maybe I want to kiss bro. Maybe I want to cuddle with bro a little bit. It's fine. Like, I know, look. As a bi dude, I understand it takes time. Like, and that's another fucking thing about this. Like, they're reducing this guy's whole experience. They're talking about Hikari, this dude. There's like a better picture of him. A picture of them like together. Dude, they're so fucking gay. But I'm trying to find like a good picture of Hikari, of like the two of them together, like just like sitting together. Is this them? No, it's somebody else. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm so fucking done. There it is. That's the guy. Yeah. So like this Hikari guy, look, they're high schoolers. Discovering that you're into guys, or like coming to the conclusion that like, hey, maybe I like guys too, like it can be a little tough, it can be a little rough. And like I remember like going through my journey and god, it makes it sound so fucking pretentious, but you know what I mean. I remember going through those feelings of like trying to come to realize that, hey, maybe I might like guys too. I remember talking to my friends at the time and my girlfriend at the time as well, and they were all helping me kind of come to the conclusion of like, hey, like there's nothing wrong with liking dudes as well, my guy. Like, you're still you're still Hanao, you're still a shitty engineering student, you still don't know what the hell's going on. You just happen to like guys too, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's kind of like, I guess you can argue that this is like kind of borderline homophobic, because like, no, he doesn't like guys, like there's no way he could possibly like Kiara, because that doesn't make sense. Like, maybe he's going through his own little journey of like realizing, hey, he's bi. And like, that's what, god, there's so much overlap, and it's so stupid with like the trans community and the gay community, and how they're constantly butting heads with each other, because like you have to validate one, but at the same time you're causing confusion for the other, and it's usually coming from the trans side, like making things more complicated for gay guys. Like, maybe you just like feminine dudes, but no, that feminine dude you like, it's actually a trans girl, because we said so. Even though that person doesn't identify as that. It's so fucking complicated. Like, there's like this whole, like, we don't have time to talk about it, but there's whole like series and other videos about like people of like the gay and trans community clashing with each other, especially recently, because like they're getting gay people are getting kind of fed up with how overcomplicated the trans community is making everything. And I'll be honest, I'm getting fed up too. And I'm sorry if you're trans and you're hearing this, like, it's just, it's getting tiresome. And like, this is just part of it. This is just one piece of it. There's so much more to it. It's a really complicated subject, and I don't want to get into, like, we're so over time already. Yeah. Bro, my friend wants to have some of my cock, JK Low. I bet he does. Look, everyone wants a little bit of femboy cock. Let's be real. Especially if it's tiny and cute. I mean, what? Anyway, reinforce gender stereotypes rather than take them down. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, again, like, that's how it started with like, again, I go back to like my grooming stories of like those two trans women who were calling me an egg, and like also saying like, can I force femme you now? Because I like to dress girly, because I like to be feminine and feel cute. Like, you should just cross the Rubicon now and become a fucking, you should just take HRT and become a girl already. And like, I thought clothing was supposed to be genderless. I thought men could just be cute and just like, you know, enjoy it. I thought like women can just be butch and just enjoy it and just have that be their style. Like, can we not have tomboys? If you're killing off the tomboys and the femboys, then you're reinforcing gender stereotypes, because like you're saying like, oh, you wear a dress, have you considered HRT? What? Why can't can we just have fun and play around with gender roles and dresses and makeup and just feel cute? Why do we have to like just push over the line and like go and treat like there's playing with gender, and then there's treating sex like a costume that you can just take on and off, because you can't just undo drugs, you can't just undo surgery, and that's what they were trying to encourage me to do, and it's just god, this is why like this I'm so passionate about this kind of stuff, like as a femboy, as a crossdresser, as somebody who's experienced like the worst, or some of the worst that can come out of like, you know, that side of the community. And like I don't want to like, let me make it clear, I don't want to say that like all trans people are like that. No, they're not. Those were 2 occasions, and I've met dozens more trans people that are way more reasonable. Now, would those people want to talk to me and engage in me now that I've been open and talking about my experience? Probably not. But at the very least, those people did not try to force something onto me that I never wanted, and I never gave reason to make them think that I wanted that. Those 2 were very much exceptions to the rule. I think most of them want to just like, you know, do their thing and then be left alone. Like, you know, they're adults, let them do what they want, let them identify as trans, let them vibe however they want. I don't care. It's their own business. It's when they started getting into my business that I started taking offense. So yeah, like I said, those 2 were massive creeps, but they're the exception, not the rule. Let's make that clear. But like the problem is that that sort of like behavior is happening way too often, and more often than not, it's either ignored or downplayed, and that's not okay. Just saying. Especially was a lie just to reinforce the gender norms. Yeah, pretty much, exactly. Like, I don't know. I don't know what like to add to it. Like, it's pretty much everything I've already said. I'm already repeating myself. It's gonna keep doing it.
How people like this will look at something at face value without looking into any further nuance contextually into like what could actually be going on, and they're gonna act like they're the most people
manga
out there. As I have explained before regarding people like this, media literacy, when they use that terminology, it's a rhetorical.
Also, I think this is the last thing we're going to talk about. I'm going to like, you're going to call it here.
What they really mean
I'll quickly go through everything else.
Do you agree with our hive mind and our exact rhetoric? If you do, we're going to say that you're with our hive mind. I mean, literacy when.
Oh yeah, also that media literacy thing. That what one of those 2 individuals who tried to encourage me to take HRT and force fem me used that media literacy thing on me. It was regarding a different thing, but they literally did that. They tried to pull that that bullshit of like, do you lack media literacy? They tried to pull that crap on me. Like, seriously, me who, like, again, like, I'm older than this person. I probably read way more books than them, but I must have done it wrong because I've lacked media literacy.
Further
it's just a cop out
contextually into like what could actually be going on, and they're gonna act like they're the most.
I fucked the world this time.
As I have explained,
just a little bit.
Regarding people like this,
it could be worse.
When they use that terminology, it's a rhetorical manipulation tactic. They don't actually mean, do you have media literacy? What they really mean is, do you agree with our hive mind and our exact rhetoric? If you do,
that's pretty much how they use that.
Media literate, but
use
if you
that
don't,
phrase on me.
We're going to say that you don't have media literacy. In an act of desperation, one more person tries to prove that Kira is a trans woman. They make the first point, which we already talked about, the second point, which we also already talked about, but then there's a third point that says, literally as a feminine body type. Which
Whoa. Are you saying that somebody's body type correlates to their gender identity? You're pushing really dangerously into some very, very turbulent waters regarding trans ideology.
Takes me to what I've said.
This is going
in
exactly where
videos
you think
that
it is.
Modern audience people like this are the biggest perpetuators of gender norms. They love to LARP as if they're against gender stereotypes and gender norms, and they're so out there. They're literally as boobs.
Yeah, right here.
Still people saying
That she's still a guy. I mean, to be fair, some of this artwork, I think this is more canon, like where he looks more flat-chested, but there is some artwork that, oh my god. When was this? This like either is like pretty old or like there's still people still coping. There's people still coping. But there is some artwork. There was like that one that had like very prominent breast. This one. I don't know if this is real or not. It looks very blurry. It might be wrong, but either way, it doesn't matter because
she's still a guy. However, this comment that's trying to prove that Kirita is a trans woman and not a femboy actually gets called out by this person's own followers, saying that this is a transphobic remark. For example, in this exchange,
let's go.
Says, I know it wasn't your intention, but your comment is transphobic too. Would you tell a trans man that he's a woman just because he has boobs? Or would you tell a trans woman who doesn't have boobs that she's a man? VOP going on to say that they're not transphobic and why even make a rude comment like this, to which the other person essentially says that their comment could be seen as transphobic and they should accept their mistake.
I love it when the snake eats itself. I love seeing the Ouroboros swallowing his tail. It's so funny. Fight.
Another one of their followers calling him out here, saying
Nikki's
that
happening.
her body isn't really an argument because guys can have boobs too. I get what you're saying, just maybe be careful with saying essentially, of course they're insert gender, just look at their body. But the OP responds with this tweet of theirs that says the point is she doesn't have them in junior year. It's obvious she got surgery or went on estrogen. But that's not really true either, because there are products out there that people can use to look more well endowed, you know, products with padding and stuff like that.
I feel like it's an animation error. Again, if this art is true, I feel like this is an incorrect art style before it was confirmed his gender. Because like every other piece like that looks official, he kind of just looks like he's just wearing like a frumpy shirt. It doesn't look like boobs or anything. Like here's like, I'm pretty sure this is like official from the manga. And again, he just looks like he's wearing a frumpy shirt. Like this is the only one I can see that looks semi-canon, and it could just be an error. Everything else though, like this is clearly fan art. This is fan art, clearly. Again, just frumpy shirt. This is fan art. Again, there's boobs and everything. And even then, like, even if it is canon, he has like some breast, that doesn't mean he's not male. It could just mean he has a larger chest. Like, you know, everyone's body is different. This is how it is. This is very clearly fan art. This is very clearly fan art. Also, that's AI, apparently. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, whatever. The point is, like, the vast majority, that is very clearly fan art. Yeah, but, like, the vast majority of, like, in-universe, like, proper canon artwork does look like it's just a guy with a frumpy shirt. Like, I'm not seeing any cleavage or anything like that. Most of the stuff with cleavage, and I'm just going through Google, it looks like either fan art or cosplays. And like, yeah, if a girl wants to cosplay as a femboy, like sure, whatever. If you have tits, then you know the cosplay is technically not accurate, though. You know, I'm just saying.
Like that, which is to say, we don't know what the
low-key smash
really
though, right?
Detail of Kirita.
Look, he's very
cute.
I love
not
Kira.
a femboy and is a trans woman.
I'm glad that we have another femboy we can play around with. He's very, very cute. I might cosplay as him
discourse
someday.
Is yet another contradiction in this sort of rhetoric. Because they'll
Flash
simultaneously
Justice, anyway.
say
Exactly.
that character can't be a femboy because of that.
Flash Justice femboys are the best femboys. I know there's like some like
appearance...
big titty femboys. I don't particularly care for them. I just think they look odd. Like just say you're a futa at that point, but whatever. You know, the point is like Flash Justice femboys are the best femboys.
Anatomy doesn't define gender identity. So just like the
especially if they have like
earlier,
you know,
where I
wider
mentioned how
chest
some of
and
these
bigger
people are fine
muscles
with
and like
misgendering
you know
as long as
toned
everyone's
bodies.
doing it, you know, it's different when they do it.
Those are the best kind.
Some of them will also apply this double standard to anatomy. When it's convenient for them, they'll remove this standard.
But yeah, like I was talking over him, but like yeah, it's the same like double standard for them. When if they want to like chastise you for like assuming somebody's gender because like, oh, you think that that person's a man just because he has a penis, or you think that person's a woman just because they have breasts, you fucking bigot. They will, again, they'll call you a bigot. They'll trip over themselves to like get you canceled and yada yada. But when it's their turn, when they want to claim a character and be like, no, he's very clearly a she, then it suddenly matters, and like then we can start enforcing gender stereotypes and blah 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 blah. Again, these are just all fucking hypocrites.
The contradictions are immense. Anyways, fun topic, fun video, but I think.
But yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, Kiara is confirmed a boy. It's making all the fucking retards very very angry. I would fucking flood his ass with semen, and I think that's the beginning and end of it. Okay, moving on. Let's see what else happened. Okay, Crunchyroll got Okay, we gotta end this. We're gonna like lightning round. Let's just go. Crunchyroll got hacked, and oh yeah, they geo-blocked people in Japan, and because Crunchyroll is very infamous for like doing like really shitty localizations where they actively censor things. Again, we need to dedicate like a stream to like going over like the history of like intentionally bad localizations and how they're like censoring for the sake of like political agendas and yada yada, and how Japan is just becoming more and more aware of it, and this is like kind of the latest round of it, like where Japan it's partially because of like we kind of talked about this, where how the translation, the recent algorithm changes to Twitter or X, whatever, made it so that the Japanese and American audiences are talking more directly with each other, and they're becoming more and more aware that like American localizers are being fucking assholes and actively butchering and plagiarizing their works to fit their ideology. So fuck Crunchyroll. If you have a subscription, why? You're sucking. If you haven't unsubscribed today, the best thing you could do is unsubscribe right now. So go do it. Don't have a Crunchyroll. They fucking suck. Ghost Stories dub bad. Yeah, there's so many fucking examples. Like I said, we need to go to like we can have like an entire stream just like talking about like how many bad localizations there are. But that's for another time. All the homies hate Crunchyroll. They fucking do. We should. Fuck Crunchyroll. Anyway, there is going to be a Mass Effect TV series, and everybody already kind of is very, very concerned about it, because they basically said, they came out and said verbatim that they want the show to focus more on non-gamer fans and focus on like getting in more people. On the one hand, yes, you probably want to get more people, but like they basically said, we don't want to appeal to the gamers who play the game anyway, which is really stupid, because Mass Effect is a story first RPG. It is famous for its intricate storyteller, character-driven stories and cinematic cutscenes and yada yada. Mass Effect already basically is a movie or TV series, whatever you want to call it. It just has breakups of like gameplay within it, but it's already very cinematic. Like, why did you change it? Like, it's already pretty much perfect. You could have done it one for one and it would have been basically fine. I know it's supposed to be a sequel that takes place like after the events of Mass Effect 3, but still, why would you just like forgo all the existing fans who, you know, made the series, you know, popular and famous in the first place, and just like throw them to the wayside? This is literally what happened with the Halo series. This is what happened with the Minecraft movie. This is what happened with the Fallout series. Like this has happened again and again and again, and usually it's not good. To be fair, the Fallout series did do well, and so did the Minecraft movie, but that's more because like Minecraft just appealed to stupid kids, and Fallout was a fluke in my opinion. I imagine the magic of it is already, I mean, it's already dying. Like I've heard nothing but bad things about the sequel, the second season, but you know, God, I hope this crashes and burns like the Halo series, because that was just so fucking bad. Unless they do like a course correction and realize, maybe we should actually appeal to the fans who made the series famous in the first place. But you know, Such common sense thoughts are rare in Hollywood these days. Anyway, why is Crunchyroll the only place to watch more of the Pretty Cure series? I have another place you can go to, Mayumi. It's called Torrenting. It's great. Anyway, I can't talk more about that on stream, but I do recommend it. Showing the 7 Seas. Exactly. Chimki Jockey. God damn it. Anyway, Marathon, just a quick little update. They're bitching and moaning that there was a hate campaign. Every time there's an update on Marathon, this number gets lower and lower and lower. And also, I found out recently that apparently, the predicted, they gave us, we finally have like a more concrete price tag to the game, or how much it costs to make the game. Apparently, it costs as much as like 200 million to 250 million. So it's getting worse and worse, it seems, for every passing day for Marathon. Yeah, just go play the originals. They're free on Steam. They're really good. I will probably stream them someday, hopefully soon. This thing really pissed me off because there was Doki Doki Literature Club was banned recently on the Google Play Store, and it's really fucking. Oh my god, it's always the usual suspects, isn't it? Anyway, Doki Doki Literature Club was recently banned on the Google Play Store recently, and like that was like bad enough, and I was gonna talk about that anyway, but then there was like this torrent of people in quotations, basically saying like it should have been this game, it should have been Nikkei or Blue Archive or other game I don't like, or other game that's basically porn in their opinion. And it's literally that that's saying again, like, I didn't say anything when they came for the Jews, and I didn't say anything when they came for the Romanis or the whatever, and now there's nobody here to speak up for me when they came for me. It's literally that scenario, but it's like, but instead it's for like fucking anime games. Like, they're okay with censorship as long as it's the things that they find degenerate and terrible. But it's just something that they like. In this case, Doki Doki Literature Club, which is a great series, by the way. I love Doki Doki Literature Club. Monica is my fucking waifu, and I adore her. I have a figurine of a Monica. I'm looking at it right now. I adore this game, and I adore that character. I am very pissed about this. But in this time when we could have had, like, you know, unity and been like, hey, maybe censorship is bad in general. We have the usual creatures coming out and saying it should have been this other thing that I don't like. Why are you banning the thing I like? This is so bad. Madoka Magica? No, Monica from yeah, this one. From Doki Doki Literature Club. I fucking adore Monica. She's so she's such a tragic character, and I just want to hug and kiss her and do other unspeakable things to her. Anyway, just Monica, exactly. But yeah, it's incredibly frustrating that, like, you think that in this time we could come together and be like, hey, maybe we should just like fight against censorship in general, but no, it's literally like, it should be the things that I don't like get banned and leave everything else alone. It's just really fucking stupid. But yeah, so I hope Doki Doki Literature Club, like, I know people are protesting, or hopefully we can get it back onto the Google Play Store. I think I own it on Steam, but still, this is a bad precedent. Google Play Store is like one of the biggest things, and if Doki Doki can get banned, and it got banned because it's a story about like suicide and mental trauma and like these other dark themes, we're not even allowed to talk about these sort of stuff anymore, which is really fucking insane. Anything can get banned at this point. Like, a game about horror or a game about like this too violent could get banned. Like, it's literally it's a very slippery slope, but Chippy used that phrase, and it can just get worse and worse and worse if we don't like speak out and try to stop it here and now. But people are just like trying to pick sides and say, like, again, like, you should have banned Blue Archive, or you should have banned Nikkei instead. It's just so fucking brain dead, and like how can you come to this conclusion? Like, you're coming to all the wrong conclusions. Like, we should just stop this, period. But no, don't touch the thing I like, but go harm my many enemies instead. like I said, it's that phrase again. Like when they came for the Jews, I said nothing. When they came for the Romanis, I said nothing. So that when they came for me, there was nobody to say anything. It's literally, instead of that, it's they came for me, and then I screamed, "Wait, go get the Jews instead." That is the most broken and stupid mentality to have. Why would you ever come to that conclusion? Now, I'm being hyperbolic. That's an extreme example, but it's the same basic principle. I don't. It's appealing to the evil overlords and saying, "Go hurt the people I don't like." Instead of coming to the conclusion that, hey, maybe the evil overlords should be like fought against. What? I don't know. People are so insane these days. I can't comprehend it. Anyway. Asmongold said male VTubers are pointless. He's dumb and retarded. Like, for the simple fact of anonymity, male VTubers do have a purpose. Like, if they just want to be anonymous, there we go. That's reason enough. Another reason is because I like, me speaking personally, and I think this is for a lot of other VTubers, we like to play a character. It's fun. I like being the bunny commander. I like role playing. It's fun. That in of itself means that it is for me in general. He also says that it doesn't appeal to anybody. Dude, there are plenty, like, yes, not in the same numbers as female VTubers. Like, women just are more popular than men. That's just how it be. But there are people, straight women and gay men, who enjoy pretty boys as well, and they like to hit on them, and they find sexual gratification and like to swoon and think about them as well. Are they the same? Are they as popular? No, of course not. Male VTubers often have to work harder, and they have to like do 4 times the work to get as much as like a quarter of the attention that your average female VTuber does. Like, that's just how it be. I try not to be better about it, but the point is, it doesn't mean there isn't a market for it. So now, so as for the cockroach king himself, he is right on a lot of things, but he is wrong about this one. I'm gonna leave it at that. Also, at the beginning of this one, Rev had like a thumbnail. I'm gonna call Rev out on this one. I don't care. On the one hand, yes, he doesn't care, and that's fine. You don't have to care about everything. I think it's just like he doesn't really. I think he's trying to say that he doesn't really give a damn about like the debates of like the validity of male VTubers and yada yada. But Rev, you do care. Otherwise, you wouldn't talk about it. And at the very fucking least, you care enough to get a paycheck out of it. And like, that's superficial. That you can call it a grift if you wanted to. But the point is, you still care to a degree. And like, he openly says that, like he's kind of just talking about this because it's good content. And to be fair, it is. Like, I respect the grift. So he's entitled to that. I'm just saying, Rev, if you're he's not listening, but if he were listening, you care to a degree. Even if that care only comes from, how can I monetize this? That is still a level of investment. And at the very least, you're investing your time and your brain, and your limited, I don't want to imply that, your limited time and, and thoughts to put on this. I don't want to imply that he's like stupid or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, like, he's attributing brain power to just to think about it and talk about it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm retarded. Anyway, whatever. It's blah 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 blah. The fucking I was gonna play this clip like really quickly, and we'll like end this off here. Find it. This was actually sourced from good old Red Letter Media, of all people. They call him Roach for a reason. He's a Roach King because he lives in squalor. To be fair, he did clean his room, so I will commend him for that. So good on him for cleaning his room. That being said, he can be wrong. Like, just because I think he's right on most things doesn't mean he's right on everything. You can't be right about everything unless you're me. But so like that's fine. It's okay. He's allowed to be wrong. He's allowed to, you know, be wrong and then not admit it. It just doesn't change the fact that he's still wrong. He'll say that I'm coping. He'll say that whatever. But the difference is compared to like other people, like I'm not. When I call him Roach King, I'm saying it lovingly and endearingly. Like he's the Roach King, and I think it's funny and kind of based. But other people use it as like an insult and then leave it at that. An attack on character rather than an attack on a comment on his argument. I gave 3 counters. I'm not talking to him directly. He's never gonna hear me. But the point is, I gave 3 counters to his position. I couldn't go through the video properly because we don't have time. But the point is, I attacked the argument, not the character. I win.
Together got about 400,000.
If you know, streams start cat fights all the time. Why watch them? Maybe you like watching cat fights. I don't know. Especially if they were to make it physical. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. Kind of hot, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Has it ever happened? Has there ever been any like big name VTuber gals ever got into like a physical fight? I'd watch that. I'd be into that. Anyway, the recent Starfleet Academy show, if you haven't heard, they're gonna finish season 2, but it's already been canceled. I'm just gonna let this clip play.
Views.
I heard from my source.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the numbers?
Yeah.
The entire.
Yeah.
Of the, and
What do you mean the entire? What do you mean? What, like
first season of Star Trek.
every episode?
Unrelated video clip accidentally inserted into timeline.
Views total is what you mean?
Not individual episodes, the entire season,
Yeah.
total views. About 400,000.
Yeah.
Not per episode.
Yeah.
Cumulatively.
Yeah.
The entire
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
About 400,000 views.
Yeah.
And
I love Rich. He's such a fucking he's so cute. But yeah, that just kind of puts into perspective like just how badly everything went regarding regarding what do you call your name? That kind of just like puts into perspective just how badly everything went with like Starfleet Academy. Like everyone talks about like how terrible it was. It failed on so many levels fundamentally. Like let's put that in perspective. 400,000 total views. There are bigger YouTubers who make 400,000 views on a single fucking video, a single fucking 10-minute video. I'm pretty sure Critical Drinker knocks out 400,000 views like at least once a week, if not several times a week on one video. And they have basically a zero budget. They literally, a lot of these people literally just have a camera, and then they just sit in front of like a green screen, if that. Sometimes they don't even do that. They just sit in front of like a planned board, or like just have clips of B-roll strolling over. Effectively zero budget. This is a multi-million dollar, tens of $1 million. I think like in total they spent like close to 200 million for the entire first season. Or maybe the entire show. And they only got 400,000 total in the entirety of season 1. And like, let's break it down even more. That's like, if we're being generous, it's like about 40,000 views per episode because it was about a 10 episode season. Again, at least 10 million, possibly tens of millions per episode for only 40,000 views. That is so bad in terms of attrition and economics. That is not sustainable. There's a reason why this show crashed and burned so fucking badly. That's the population of Fresno, Cali. Is that like a state? Oh, is that like a wait, I've seen that's like a city. Oh yeah, Fresno, California. Population. and sad. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it has more people. It's like 550,000. That's a little more. Yeah, you're right. A little bit more. But yeah, it's fucking nothing. That is so bad. Again, like a solid YouTuber makes those numbers easily. At least 40,000 for, again, like for practically nothing. They can make that. They can make those numbers back. They can make those numbers easily. If you're like a decently popular YouTuber. And even if you're a decent YouTuber, 40,000 can be very easily done with like a single video. Again, with paying practically nothing. You just like, it's literally just you like in front of a camera, and that's it. So, like obviously I can't make those numbers, but I know of plenty of other people who can. So, God, that show is burning money, and it's just hilarious. One day we'll get those numbers. Well, one day we'll be better than a Starfleet Academy. someday when we take over, it will happen, guys. You guys will be there, hopefully. We'll see it happen. But yeah, that was, yes, I'm sorry, TOA, but yes, that is the daily that is it for the weekly debrief. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I want to make this a bit more consistent. Hopefully I won't get suddenly sick tomorrow like I did last week. But I'm hoping like in the coming week, I want to start with like hopefully do like four-ish streams this week. And then if I can do that, next week I will have a schedule out to try to do either 4 or 5 for the following week, like with a schedule planned and everything. This week I want to play it a little on the looser side because I have another interview, and so we'll see how that goes. I don't really think I'll get the job, but like it's good to show up, I guess. But you know, whatever. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah. But again, like I said, I want to do at least 4 streams this week. At least like 1 or 2 of Persona, another weekly debrief, and I need to think of another game. Maybe Pokemon, maybe not. We'll see. I have to think about it. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you all stay happy and healthy. Minus Sweeper. We'll see. And we'll see about Pokemon. I do want to keep playing. Yeah, what was the name of that mod again? I forgot. The hack. I gotta find it. It was like Lazarus. Pokemon Lazarus. Yeah. Nuzlocke. No Nuzlocke. I'm bad at Nuzlocke. I took part of that relay Nuzlocke with Scarlet and their friends, and I fucked that up so badly. I ended up losing one of our guys, and I felt so fucking bad. Also, I could barely... Lazarus is a lot harder than I was expecting, so I don't think I could do a Nuzlocke on it. Unless like I went in like, you know, planning on it from the very beginning. No, if we did Lazarus continuation, we would have to like, you know... Excuse me. We would have to like, what's the word? Kind of plan for it and like go into it with a plan, but we'll see. If we continue that, it's probably just going to be like a continuation of like, you know, a casual playthrough that we were trying to do. But even on casual, it's a pretty hard game. It's way harder than I was expecting it to be. Or maybe I'm just stupid. That's probably it. But I'll figure it out. I might need to load it up again and see, and try to make sure that I have everything set up properly, and maybe catch a Pokemon or 2 off stream, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, and I don't know Gen 7 and up, so I am working with like I'm working with lack of knowledge, so that doesn't help on top of everything. But again, I need to like work on it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, either way, I hope to see y'all again soon. Hope you all stay happy and healthy. That's an order, and I'll see y'all again real soon. All right, later. Heads up in those Pokemon if you want. Yeah, please. By all means, maybe. I know you're like an expert on this, but I always appreciate advice. But yeah, you guys, have a good night, and bye-bye.